All right, good evening, everyone, from inside the press box at Eastern View High School, Cyclone Stadium for tonight's annual Cannonball Classic. Shown to you, of course, by your very own Culpeper Media Network. I'm Mark O'Connell alongside Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera, Nicole Wooten back in the studio. We're live tonight. Steve, welcome aboard. It's good to be back, and inevitably, it's every time we start a season, the first two games pretty hot here, but we'll soon forget about that and turn our attention to tonight's game. So this, as we've talked about, is a game the Blue Devils have never won, and likewise, the Cyclones have never lost. Let's talk about the two teams tonight. Let's start with our visitors, and I wanted to piggyback on what was written in the Freelance Star. The verb they use is that Culpeper will have to reinvent itself this season.
I kind of agree with that, Mark, statement, because they lost most of their offense with Malachi Terrell transferring to Blue Ridge. So now who's going to replace him? Who's going to be the next guy up? And that's what Coach Ford has been looking at. Big thing he's got in his favor, though, he does have his quarterback, 3-year starter, coming back. And he's shown some great improvement, what I understand, in preseason so far. So basically, it's going to be what running back emerges as the go-to guy for the Blue Devils, and if that offensive line can, other than Tucker Dean, can they get somebody, who they're going to play in there and be able to control the line of scrimmage?
Because Tucker Dean is the only returning veteran to that offensive line, and he moves to center this season. So they're missing 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen from a year ago. And in contrast, one of the strengths about this Eastern View team has to be its front 4. So that's an equation there that could spell trouble for the Blue Devils.
It could. I mean, and that's what I look for Coach Landry pretty much to try to pound it and see what's going, early in the game, see how their offensive line, which is a lot better than Culpeper's D-line, see if they can establish some control and get a running game going, and then look for them to open up the pass with DeMaio Hunter back there. He's a talented athlete. He won the job from day one. It's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to see how he operates tonight.
Yeah, and so one of the things that the Blue Devils, and Coach Ford admitted this, in our coaches' show, is that they haven't really exactly led the league in the speed department. I think speed has hurt them as a team.
That has. I mean, that's what's happened in the past, and I still think their speed's going to affect the Blue Devils tonight as well. Again, I mean, they don't have the athletes that Eastern View has. Now, that's high school football. I don't want to start off negative and saying, hey, Culpeper's going to get wiped off the field. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying right now on paper, athletically, I advantage Eastern View.
Yeah, and so like you mentioned DeMaio Hunter, great athlete. He's going to be playing quarterback. He's got to learn that position, and I'm sure it'll be a quick study. Younger brother, as you know, of Diego Hunter, who's now at Towson State University. I understand he's doing pretty well up there. But to me, if there's really a guy you really want to focus on tonight who's going to be a presence, particularly on the defense and also on the offense when he gets his reps at tight end, it's got to be Brett Clatterball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what everyone's coming to look at. I mean, he's, second-team All-State as a freshman. He's got a lot of schools looking at him. I had the pleasure of meeting him and talking with him for, a good half hour to an hour over the summer. And he was working for a firm that was doing some landscaping. And the thing is that really impresses me about him, he's grounded. He's mature. He doesn't want to go travel to go to private school teams and everything else. He just wants to play football. And he is probably – once every 15, 20-year player that comes along, and he's very talented. The big thing now, we want to see how he matures and grows from last year. And barring injury, we should see great things from Brett Clatterball this season.
So I think it's fair to say that the coaching staff won't object if he decides to stay around throughout his high school career.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think you're going to see the fans are going to see quite a player in Brett Clatterball. Where's jersey number 34 for the Cyclones? All right, Steve, before we go, let's break it down. If you're coaching the Blue Devils, what do you have to do tonight to have a good chance against Eastern View?
Play fundamentally smart football. Don't get any, don't make bad mistakes. Play within yourselves, and let's see what happens. But don't rush. Don't go out there. First game jitters, everyone knows that. But, again, that's where you rely on your veterans and see if they can get an attack going. I think if they can get a good ground, if we got somebody who can really run the football, that's going to help Bennett Sutherland in play action. So
All right, let's turn to Eastern View. If you're Eastern View and you're on defense, do you want to pressure Bennett Sutherland knowing that the guys up front are young and inexperienced?
absolutely. They're going to put a lot of pressure on them. They're going to unleash Brett Clatterbaugh. You watch on that and really try to snuff out any running attack Culpeper might have and then go after the passing attack.
Looking forward to calling the game with you tonight and looking forward to a new season here on the Culpeper Media Network. And again, we're live tonight. Our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air. Nicole Wooten back in the studio again, Johnny behind the camera. We're going to take a break and we'll come back and broadcast the annual Cannonball Classic and tonight's kickoff when we come back after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
Well, good evening, everyone, from Cyclone Stadium. Welcome to our broadcast of the annual Cannonball Classic here on the Culpeper Media Network. And we are live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air. Mark O'Connell along with Steve Peacock. Steve, we just had the coin toss. How are we going to get things started tonight?
Well, it looks like Eastern View won the toss, correct? So I look for Eastern View to come out there and just try to take the ball offensively and see what they're going to do against Culpeper. Culpeper is going to probably take the ball. Is going to get have to play some sound offense and to beat and win this game as well as sound defense.
Well, let's talk some about our coaches. We had the coaches' corner a couple weeks ago, or 10 days ago rather. It was great to have Coach Lowry and Coach Ford there. And we're talking about some of the assistants. Jeff Jenkins, who's grew up here in Culpeper, went to Culpeper County High School. Done some different coaching at Eastern View. He's done some coaching at Spotsylvania, football, wrestling. He finds himself as the offensive coordinator this year for the Cyclones. What a move up for him that is, and I thought he was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, Mark, and now get the jitters out of the way, being your the offensive coordinator. But like I said, he's well known. He's got a lot of good coaching, got good coaching pedigree and some experience. I look for him to have be a good addition for offense coordinator for the Cyclones.
Well, and Blue Devils will be kicking off. That means R.J. Uribe will take that honor. There is the whistle. Here comes Uribe. Here's kick, and we are underway at Cyclone Stadium. It's a short kick, and the receiver gets entered at the 15-yard line. He makes a cut, across the 30, 35, 40. Makes another cut. Nice return. Brought down to 45. Let's pick up that number. It looks like number 2 for Eastern View. That was Jaden Williams.
Yep.
And he gives them excellent field position. Special teams play just like that off the back for Eastern View, Steve.
And that's what they wanted to do, Mark, right away. And I thought there was going to be a flag on the play, but it's really just a piece of tape came off somewhere. And I was like, oh, where's that? But anyway, good run for Eastern View. Way to start out start the game off with a good field position. Now let's see what they're going to be able to do offensively here.
They're going to start from their own 47-yard line. Well, the Cyclones, excellent field position. DeMaio Hunter is the quarterback, and he's tripped up by Devon Polari after he crossed midfield and got into Culpeper territory. All right, so we talked about DeMaio Hunter, assuming that role this year as the Eastern View quarterback. Steve, we're going to find out early on just how he adapts.
He's starting out real good, Mark, and I think he's going to adapt very well. He's an athlete. He knows, and he's got that point guard mentality from basketball. So I think he's a great addition to the quarterback.
Here's stepping up in the pocket, gets away from the pressure, going to run it. He's going to have good yardage. He's going to have a Cyclone first down. They'll tackle him at about the 35-yard line. So DeMaio Hunter, 2 carries and an Eastern View first down. I don't think that was his actual play call. I think he was looking for a receiver, but he ended up having to keep the ball.
He was looking down the field for Brett Cannonball on the post.
Here's the handoff to the running back there. That's Jaden Williams. He had that good return on the kickoff to start things here tonight. Looks like we'll mark it down at about the 31. He picked up 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 from that spot.
And like I said, Mark, led up front by big Braden Walker. He's the engine that makes that line go up front. We'll get you other names here shortly.
Braden Walker, one of those two-way players, starters rather, for the Cyclones. First completed pass is caught, and it's to number 1, Cameron Hughes. That should be a familiar name for you from a year ago. And this will be another first down for the Cyclones. Steve, Blue Devil defense early on here sort of getting pushed back on its heels.
Yeah, I mean, the Eastern View's coming out wanting to dominate football. Plus, they're also the defense is keying too much on Brett Clatterball, and that's allowing the other players to get the ball and make good runs with it, just like that.
Off that right tackle was Jaden Williams, like you said, picked up positive yardage. So the Cyclones kind of doing what they want here. Picked up about 9 yards on first down, makes it 2nd and 1.
It's going to be right here. Culpeper, like I said, they've got to, they got to stop the run first. That's the big thing.
Quick throw, far side. That's Clatterball out there and powering his way forward. And it looks like he got in, Steve. Clatterball, a touchdown catch from about 11 yards out. His first catch. We knew he'd figure into the offensive scheme of things.
Sure did, Mark. And you better shut the doors. The storm's coming. It's a Cyclone touchdown. And it was DeMaio Hunter to Brett Clatterball from 11 yards out, and Brett did the rest and run it in for the end zone. Great play, good play call rather, good execution.
Yeah, they had gone with a couple of runs by DeMaio Hunter and one by Jaden Williams, and then they found Brett Clatterball, and he did the rest. Here's a reverse on the 2-point try. It's fumbled, and it's going to be stopped, and it's picked up, but they can't advance the ball. Right. So the 2-point try fails. 6-0 our score. With 9:27 to go here in the first quarter, that means the Cyclones used 2 minutes and 33 seconds on that drive. Granted, they were given great field position by the kickoff return by Jaden Williams, but from their own 47-yard line, it didn't take them long to find the Blue Devil end zone.
No, it didn't, Mark, and their talent is showing right now. Culpeper just got to learn, see what they can do offensively here against the defense that's untested here for Eastern View.
Well, this broadcast is brought to you in part by K&M Lawn and Garden and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across from Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. And of course, we mentioned that we are live this year, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air. Able to keep your home comfortable throughout the season, answering any questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they're able to keep your home comfortable. That's Able Heating and Air. It's 718-7556. All right. So the Cyclones look good on their opening possession. Steve, I thought they mixed it up fairly well, don't you?
I do too. I mean, they got right off start from the get-go with the kickoff, bring it up to midfield, and just let the offense go to work, and just about 6 plays they're in the end zone. So good way to begin for Eastern View. Tough way to begin for the Blue Devils.
And kicking off for the Cyclones is Braden Capolini. Here's his kick. This one's going to be fielded at about the 10-yard line. On the return here is number 24, A.J. Marshall for Culpeper. So the Blue Devils won't have the advantage of great field position like their Cyclone counterparts did on offense, but let's see what they can do. And we know that a familiar quarterback in Bennett Sutherland. But again, it'll be interesting to see who has earned the starting positions on that offensive line, in addition to Tucker Dean, of course, at center.
Well, we got number 77 if you want to peel him real quick.
Go ahead.
Number 77 for Culpeper.
Oh, yeah, it's Hunter North.
Number 50.
50 is Aiden Curley.
You got Tucker Dean at center.
Right. You mentioned 70. Was it? Let's see. We'll try to pick those up as we can. Bennett Sutherland going to be in the shotgun formation. Looks like they have the ball up to 22. Does Culpeper. This is going to be their starting field position on their first drive. And they're going to hand off straight ahead. Good opening and a good run, spinning his way forward. Let's check the ball carrier number there, Steve. Was it Jakari Edwards? We expected him to.
It was, yes. Edwards, it was.
Let's make sure.
22.
22. I don't have 22.
We don't have 22.
That seems to happen occasionally, doesn't it?
I think it's Jakari Edwards, though.
And again, the same ball carrier. It likely is Jakari Edwards. I had him listed as number 6. We'll have to get a status report maybe at the intermission to check on that. If it's a jersey change, we're not aware. But we knew that Jakari Edwards would be likely the go-to running back. In the absence of Malachi Terrell, who we mentioned has gone to Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge.
He had, what, 1,700 rushing yards last year?
1,769.
Who's going to get? Who's going to try to fill those shoes this year? We'll find out. Ball now at the 35-yard line for Culpeper. We're at second down and about 7. Back to the run. This time, running into a stone wall, push back, backwards, good gang tackling. Brett Clatterball and others in on the tackle. Number 22 is the ball carrier, and we don't have him.
We don't have him on the roster. We're going to might say Jakari Edwards, but we'll, like I said, we'll check at halftime.
It's coming to the side here. Number 24 is A.J. Marshall. We expect him to be a targeted wide receiver. Cole Plaster, number 14, going to get a lot of reps.
Number 2.
And that's Garrett Damewood. So here is Culpeper now in a 3rd down and 8 situation on its opening drive. Bennett Sutherland back there in the gun, along with Edwards, we believe. We got movement up front, and we're going to have an encroachment against Eastern View. That'll be our first penalty of the game, and that'll cost the Cyclones 5 yards. That'll help the Blue Devils some here, Steve, on this 3rd down call.
It sure would. And number 74 for Culpeper held his own.
Jaden Johnson.
Yep.
Okay.
And we got him in there, and then we know who Tucker Dean's number is.
And Tucker Dean playing center this year.
58.
No, I got him at 56.
Okay.
Now, here on 3rd down and a long 2, the Blue Devils load up this right side with trips. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Bennett Sutherland drops the ball. He's going to have to pounce on it, so don't turn it over to the Cyclones. That's going to bring up a 4th down, and we will see the Blue Devil punting team come on.
That's what kills you, Mark, right there. And that's what hurt Culpeper in the beginning of last season, too. Turnovers. And the turnover right there, they had 3rd and short to get the first, and they dropped the football. And again, it's just lack of concentration right there.
Well, and on that play, I mean, you had a manageable 3rd down with that 5-yard penalty that they were gifted. They had a manageable situation, unable to capitalize on it with a fumble. So the Blue Devils, here's a high snap. Uribe makes a nice play and able to get this one off. As the pressure was there, they almost got to it, and then Uribe will be the benefactor of a pretty good roll, and the Cyclones will have it near their 35-yard line when they take over for the 2nd time in the game, up 6-0 with 6:45 to play here in the 1st quarter. Well, you know, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. That's Battlefield Automotive at 540-547-3673.
Hey, Mark, let's pick up some of the Cyclones offensive linemen if we get a chance here, too.
We sure will. Eastern View taking over to the 35, and this one, except for being tripped up, he may have gone for a bunch more. Jayden Williams.
He was tripped up by number 4.
And that's Devon Polari.
Yep.
Ball now at the 39. Picked up 4 yards. 2nd down and 6. Clock running, 6:22 to play, first quarter action. Here's DeMaio Hunter going to air it out long, and there in good defensive position was Garrett Damewood, and they were trying to hook up with number 3, Trey Brock of Eastern View.
Yeah, well, Trey Brock has a significant height advantage over Danewood, but Danewood's quick, so that was good coverage right there.
You think Danewood, really timed his jump too?
Yep, he sure did.
Big play for the Blue Devils there, because now it's 3rd and 6 for the Cyclones. They fake it. DeMaio Hunter keeps it and tackled at midfield. And he's going to pick up a Cyclone first down. Well, DeMaio Hunter looks pretty good so far.
Yep, running behind number 64 for the Cyclones. Number is
64, Antonio Heredia.
54.
And 54 is Jimmy Waters.
Yep, both of them get key blocks.
First down and 10 now, Cyclones. Handoff, ball carrier, number 15 of Eastern View. That's Deuce Washington. He picks up good yardage, about 6 yards on the play. Blue Devil territory, they now mark it at the 43, and the clock running just under 6 minutes to play. 6-0 Cyclones here at Cyclone Stadium in this first quarter of action. Cyclones scored on their opening drive, took advantage of great field position, and the running of DeMaio Hunter, and then the pass play to Brett Clatterball. And this pass is complete out in the flat for another Cyclone first down. And making the catch was Trey Brock for the Cyclone.
And Mark, and number 78 and number 65 are the other 2 linemen we got to mention.
Okay, so number 65 for the Cyclones is Grayson Yates.
And 78.
And 78 is Samet Abed.
Yep, there's your offensive line for the Cyclones.
Culpeper 38-yard line it is now, 1st and 10 Cyclones. DeMaio Hunter, the starting quarterback. Blue Devils show pressure. Here they come. DeMaio Hunter fakes it, then runs straight ahead. Got inside the Blue Devil 30-yard line. Good tackle, open field tackle made out there by that Blue Devil safety. I believe it was Cole Plaster coming up. But you know what, Steve? You don't want your safeties coming up and making too many tackles, do you?
You want them being stopped up front. And Culpeper up front right now is losing the battle on the line of scrimmage.
Well, I mean, and we wondered about how that would go there in the trenches. Early on, advantage Eastern View, no doubt. Here's DeMaio Hunter pressured, and they wrap him up, sling him down. No flag. It was all jersey. And making that play for Culpeper was number 56, Tucker Dean.
Yep.
That's a big play for the defense. They needed something like that.
And they needed it from one of their leaders right there, too, Tucker Dean.
So he lost 12 yards in the play. We've got a 3rd down and about 14 here for the Cyclones. They go 2 receivers to the left, 1 in that slot, 1 wide right. They stay to the ground. Why not? Straight ahead they go. And getting back that lost yardage and then some was it Jaden Williams?
Yep.
2 yards, long 2 for the Cyclones.
Yep.
And he got back the lost yardage, brings up a 4th and 3, and they line up to go for it.
They're going to go for it here, Mark. See what
And the way they're running the ball, why not?
You're right.
You know? And particularly considering the field position, they go to Brett Clatterball. Let's check. Straight ahead he went, power running play. We'll see where they mark it and if it's enough for a first down. That's a high percentage play right there.
It sure is.
Probably they're gonna signal a measurement. That's how close it is.
For measurement.
All right, we got a good picture right here, Steve. Let's tell you that this broadcast is made possible by Found & Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. That's Found & Sons at 825-3530. And also want to mention Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473.
First down.
Well, what happens when a mechanical pencil stops working, Steve? You go back to the old reliable, what we used in elementary school.
Yep.
It's just good.
Number 2.
And you know what? I like the Bic pen still.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just as good as anything that's coming. They've been out for years. Anyway, that's I do digress, of course. Brett Clatterball got just enough for a first down, moves the sticks, and now the Cyclones have it 1st and 10 from the Blue Devil 28-yard line. DeMaio Hunter going. He's got an open receiver out there. It's caught, but it's out of bounds.
It's out of bounds.
But you know what? Even if it's out of bounds, that was a pretty good looking catch, babe.
Yep, it was, and it was good. You know, he put it in the right spot too, but just out of bounds. So brings up now 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10.
But he's getting good protection, Mark, up front, and that's what's key. They're giving him time to throw.
Yeah, they are, and of course he's got some good movement back there too. He can, elude the rush.
Mm-hmm.
He can run with it. You know, he's dangerous, and you're going to see in time what it looks like when he's running and passing on the run. Now here's a quick handoff. The Blue Devils tend to snipped out pretty well, and the ball carrier there, Jaden Williams.
And number 50 for Culpeper on the tackle.
All right, and that would be Aiden Curley. One of the big leaders on the Blue Devil defense, of course, Steve, is Larry Williams, returning from last year. Now here's a 3rd and 10, a little over 10. We'll call it just shy of 11 yards for a Cyclone first down. Clock continues to run, 3:10 to play first quarter. DeMaio Hunter throwing, got a receiver caught, spinning, dropping the ball, but recovered by his teammate there. Open field, that's number 21, Jason Spencer makes the recovery. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
And number 3 dropped it.
All right, and that was Trey Brock. But it's still a first down.
Take him any way you can get him.
And the ball at the 14-yard line. This one,
Jaden Williams, the ball carrier.
Jaden Williams, the ball carrier, picked up about 3 yards on the play.
Culpeper's going to have to really tighten up right here, Mark. They don't want the Cyclones to get another touchdown here, right here at the end of the first quarter.
And the first quarter has 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining, and the clock is ticking. 6-0, Cyclones at Cyclone Stadium. Here is 2nd down and 7. And the ball carrier, again, is Jaden Williams. He gets down just, it looks like, right at the 5. And it's going to be just short, about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and about 1. They'll mark it here at the 5. Clock continues to run. We're approaching the 2-minute mark here in this first quarter.
We'll see if Culpeper can come up here with a big stop and really force the coaching staff at Eastern View to make a decision here.
Mayo Hunter handing off. Straight ahead. This may have been Clatterball. No, it's back to Williams, my mistake. Jaden Williams straight ahead. But, Steve, that's a first down. And now they've got 4 downs to punch it in from about the 2?
Yep.
1st and goal there. So you might as well you might want to start warming up your pipes.
It looks like that's what's going to happen right now. Eastern View is dominating Culpeper at the moment.
And not only on the field there, but now you're talking about using that clock. Chewing it up as they chew up yardage. Straight ahead goes the ball carrier, just shy of the goal line.
Eddie Holmes, your ball carrier.
And the carrier that time was Eddie Holmes at his first carry of the night. They've got 3 more tries to punch it in from here now, just shy of the 1-yard line. Substitution coming in, Steve. You saw it, 10. That's Keegan Brown.
Okay, number 75 for Culpeper was in there too on the tackle.
Genoa Lane. All right, now you've got Clatterball back there lined up to take this snap. You can see him there, number 34, and he does take it. Straight ahead he goes, and he dives into the end zone from 1 yard out.
Lock the door, shut the windows, and fear that wind. It's a Cyclone touchdown. Brett Clatterball from 1 yard out.
Well, you look at this now, they've got 2 touchdowns. They put together a couple drives using DeMaio Hunter, Jaden Williams, and a couple of good pass plays. But there at the end, they decided to cap it with the scoring jolt by Brett Clatterball for the 2nd time tonight.
Well, you get the ball in your best athlete's hands, and that's what they did right there. And Brett was able to score right through there with a good run. And the extra point is good.
Extra point by Braden Capellini. 13-0 our score here with 56 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Well, I want to mention to you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. All right, we mentioned that we are live, and our live sponsor, of course, is Able Heating and Air. Answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system, there's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. All right. Well, Cyclones up 13-0, Steve. In all fairness, I just think that the Cyclones with the offensive line and the hard running and the mixing the play called up pretty good, pretty nicely. They're pretty much dominating the line of scrimmage.
They are, Mark, and that's where most football games are won. They're won up front. And right now, Eastern View is dominating. Culpeper can't get anything going offensively, and defensively they haven't been able to stop the offensive line of Eastern View.
Capellini kicks off here for the Cyclones. Straight ahead it goes. Going to be fielded, I believe, by Williams just inside. Yep, that's, rather A.J. Marshall inside the 20-yard line. He got across the 20, but he was stopped just shy of the 25. So average field position now twice for the Blue Devils doesn't exactly give them the lift they needed.
No, and Mark, right now, they're probably going to have to start going to some short passes just in order to advance the football, because right now that line of scrimmage, the D line for Eastern View is dominating the O line for Culpeper, and the offensive line was going to be a big question mark coming into the season. They only returned one starter, and that's in Tucker Dean. Everybody else graduated, so all those new faces up there on the O line, they're big, but they haven't really been able to gel as a unit right yet.
And I wanted to say this is Culpeper's second possession. The first time, thanks to a 5-yard encroachment penalty against Eastern View, they had a 3rd and short, but they had the fumble. That stalled the drive. You talked about turnovers, that sort of thing, eliminating those. Let's see what happens here on this sequence. Here comes the pressure and slung down. That's Brett Clatterball getting in there and just slinging Bennett Sutherland down to the ground and for a loss.
And that was, Brett looked like he was shot from a cannon, Mark. I mean, no one even touched him. He was already he was there at the quarterback when the quarterback got the ball. And
Bennett Sutherland probably didn't like what he saw as soon as the ball was snapped to him. The guy was right on, like you said. And now, if you're the offense, Steve, you know you have to account for Clatterball. So,
yeah, you got to tell your O-line, somebody put a hat on him, find him wherever he is, because they did a good job right there hiding him, and he was just shot out of that blitz package, and boom, there it was, and that's why he's so highly rated. You get to see there, he's just a sophomore, but his football instincts are so good.
Right. After the big loss, it looks like second down about 16. Bennett Sutherland would like to have a little bit better blocking up in front of him if he's going to do anything back there. Here comes some more pressure. They gets rid of it. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver.
Williams falls incomplete. 3rd and long for the Blue Devils.
Now, Mark, it now becomes a 3rd and long situation and deep in their own territory. That doesn't spell good for the Blue Devils.
No, it doesn't. I believe the intended receiver there was Devon Cooper. But now here is a 3rd and a very long, I would say 16 yards, or 18 yards rather. Ball's at the 16. Blue Devils here in a perhaps precarious situation. You don't want to turn it over here, but you need some breathing room as well. Here comes the pressure. Well, we may have a penalty flag down. We may have another encroachment penalty against Eastern View.
I think it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on Eastern View. We'll see. Were they drawn off, or they pulled, or they jumped? And they're going to say, yep, they're going to point and go against Eastern View. They jumped.
Well, that'll give them a little cushion, but it's still going to be 3rd and long.
Yep.
3rd down and about 13.
Yeah, they still got a long way to go, and they've got to, like I said, they got to get their hands into their best playmaker. Is that Jakari Edwards or even Bennett Sutherland? But somebody's got to make a play.
3rd and long. Bennett Sutherland. 3 receivers to the right. Here comes the pressure. He throws. He had a receiver out there. He threw it behind the intended receiver Garrett Damewood. That's going to bring up fourth down.
Ball's incomplete.
I don't see a penalty flag down. So it looks like it'll be fourth down. And the punting team due to come on, I suspect.
Right.
I'm not sure why there's a delay on the field. I didn't see a penalty flag.
I didn't either. Well, they say, what?
Here comes the official, the referee, to tell us all about it.
I didn't see the.
Yeah, there was no yellow flag down.
I didn't see it.
Here he comes here.
I think I know what's going to happen if it's unsportsmanlike.
Oh, that's an ineligible receiver
downfield.
downfield. And they decline it,
Right.
and it makes it fourth down and 14. Of course, you would decline it and take the punt, right?
Yep.
So this is where Culpeper needs a good snap and a good kick. And so, Steve, really the Cyclones, they've just quickly applied the pressure to Bennett Sutherland.
They have. That's what they, that was the scouting report on it. The weakest portion of Culpeper coming into the season was going to be their offensive line. And they need to really get find some people back there to want to block.
So R.J. Uribe lines up the punt, standing inside his 10-yard line. Jason Spencer back deep for the Cyclones. Here's the kick. This is a pretty good one, depending on the bounce. Spencer picks it up, he loses his footing, and he's down there at once he hits the turf. Do we have a penalty flag come in?
Flag, I think it's going to be holding. We might be holding on Eastern View here. Let's see what it was way, the play was way over here. It was way far away from the ball.
Right. Yeah, it was thrown along, like you say, a long distance from where the actual play was.
Somebody reached out and tried to grab one of the Culpeper players. See what the call is going to be. Yeah, they're going to be taking. It's going against Eastern View. We're still at 12.9 seconds, still in the first.
And our score is 13-0 in favor of the Cyclones, who after this penalty will go back on offense for the third time here tonight. Illegal use of hands against the receiving team. That would be Eastern View. So they'll mark this one off. And then Eastern View will go back on offense. Still reasonably good field position at its own 33-yard line.
That foul will take the ball back to the 30.
See what Eastern View can do here. They're just making this game. They're just like a machine right now, where they're just going up and down the field.
And here's Tamayo Hunter. Here comes the pressure. He eludes it, steps up, looking downfield. Now he's going to be hit from behind, tackled across the 30. At about the 31. So he's going to lose a yard or two on the play.
Yeah, but he did on that, Mark. He should have got rid of the football.
All right. Well, we've got end of the first quarter with our score. Cyclones 13, Blue Devils nothing. We'll be back for the second right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
All right, well, welcome back to our broadcast, and Eastern View on offense as they start this second quarter of play. Well, I really jumped ahead of myself that time. We're not quite in the fourth quarter, are we? We're just starting the second. But it's been all Eastern View at this point. How do you analyze the first quarter beyond that?
Just to control the line of scrimmage, Mark, and the way Eastern View dominated on both sides of the ball. But right now, Culpeper came out and made a good tackle and forced Eastern View into the passing situation.
Here's a pass complete right over the middle of the field, and this is by Trey Brock. Big gainer, pass play to Mayo Hunter to Brock. And that'll move the sticks and then some as they're in the Culpeper territory on the big pass play.
And Mark, the key to that was the blocking up front and how DeMaio had great protection, and he put the ball right on the money.
44-yard line they go. They go back to the run this time, and this time the Blue Devils are waiting for the running back.
Well, we've got an injury for
we got to pick up that number, Steve. It looks like it's it'll be Deuce Washington, number 15. Some of these numbers just hard to pick up from my estimation. What about you?
Yeah, they are, because it's at dusk and they're hard to pick up. Number 65 for Eastern View came off with an injury.
Okay, the winner of the best seats in the
Trying to get
house.
something.
On the 45,
Come down to the far end.
DeMaio Hunter, quick throw near side. And we've got a whistle.
Yeah, his knee touched the ground, Mark. I didn't think it touched. I thought he maybe just had cleared it, but.
Well, it's a complete catch, but they had to stop it when he made contact with the ground.
Right.
Picked up a few yards, makes it third down at about 6. Opening minute here this second quarter, 13-0 in favor of the Cyclones. 10:15, clock ticking. As we mentioned, the first quarter belonged exclusively to Eastern View. DeMaio Hunter and his teammates have looked pretty good. Now the Blue Devils show pressure. They come. Cyclones pick it up, and an incomplete pass. Pretty good coverage out there.
Good coverage by the Blue Devils on that play.
Yeah. And again, just trying to pick up some of these numbers, Steve. It's just.
Like I said, it's real hard, but right now the way the sun angle is, and it's not quite dark, and they got black numbers on light blue jerseys. So.
Well, that was Cameron Hughes, number 1. Now Hughes goes to the top of your screen. And then you got a teammate there in the slot. Brett Clatterball in at tight end position. They may go to him. Watch out. Here's DeMaio Hunter being pressured. He reverses his direction. Steps up, throws. Now that just looked a little bit like Fran Tarkin to me, Steve. And he was looking for Brett Clatterball at the 30-yard line, being defended by Culpeper's Larry Williams. So here's a stop for the first time the Blue Devil defense comes up with one for them.
Big stop there too, Mark, for this for that defense, because they were getting tired, and it's hot out here. Now it's going to get humid, and what's happening is that whoever's got them, whatever people have left in the tank to start the fourth quarter, if this game is close, then they're going to win the game. But right now, Eastern View seems to be dominating them. But not on that series. Culpeper came out with a good 4 defensive stops right there.
So the Blue Devils on offense now for the 3rd time in this game, and they will actually enjoy their best field position starting at the 40. Bennett Sutherland, the quarterback, 3 receivers to the right. Here come the Cyclones. Running past the pressure was the running back there. 22, let's pick the number up. 22 is J.Q. Williams.
And Mark, these delayed running calls that Culpeper's doing is good, because what's happening, Eastern View is really, coming after the quarterback. They're really making a great big push right up in the middle of the field and middle line of scrimmage. And that little delay allows that, as long as those defensive linemen are going by you, that running back is able to pick up good yardage.
Picked up 4 yards, 2nd and 6. They go back to the run, and getting back to the line of scrimmage, that's about it. And several Cyclones in on the tackle, including Josh Perez.
Now it's another 3rd and long here for the Blue Devils.
All right, now Steve, we've got in that backfield, it looks like number 16, Devon Cooper.
Okay.
And they're going to send 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. The left side is David Holland. They load up that right side. Bennett Sutherland's looking at 3rd down and about 6 right here. Sutherland on the move and throwing. He's got a receiver. I believe that's Cole Plaster. It is his catch and a 1st down for the Blue Devils, and I'm thinking that's their first down of the game.
It is, Mark, and that's what they got to do. They've got to run away from that pressure and not really play into the pressure, play away from it, and get Sutherland to did a good job there, running out to his right, rolling out, and Plaster is not the speed receiver. He's a good possession receiver. He ran a good route and was coming back to his quarterback and made him pick up the first down. Good play.
All right, and that should inject a little bit of enthusiasm into this Blue Devil offense as the clock continues to run. 8:25 to go, second quarter. 13-0 Cyclones here in this annual Cannonball Classic. Bennett Sutherland and company now have a first down. We may have another encroachment against Eastern View. That'll be its third of the game. And as they assess this penalty, Steve will tell them that this broadcast is brought to you in part by K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across from Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please.
And Mark, right now what's going on is a good play call by the cadence by Sutherland. He's able to give them 5 more yards with that, drawing them off sides.
Got a timeout on the field, and our timeout sponsor this year, Steve, is UVA Community Credit Union. Strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. That's UVAcreditunion.org. And now you're looking at the Cyclones defensive side there, and some animation from one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, they said, hey, look, they're getting a little bit, gave up a big 4th down play, and that's unlike the Cyclones.
Well, I think maybe also some emphasis on, look, discipline. This is our 3rd encroachment or offsides penalty.
Yeah.
Watch the ball. Don't jump. Don't jump the gun. Other than that, it's it's kind of hard to find flaw in what Eastern View has done so far.
I concur, Mark. There get no argument for me on that.
Okay, from the 39-yard line of Eastern View, Culpeper has it 1st and 5. Here comes pressure again. They fake it, and then Bennett Sutherland fumbles it. Let's see who's got it. Looks like it's going to be a turnover.
Who's got the ball?
Eastern View says they do. Waiting for the man in the white hat to make it official. It is a turnover. Well, I think that really was set up again by pressure.
It was, and right there, and Sutherland's got to learn to feel that pressure. Don't put that ball low like you did carrying like a loaf of bread. You got to protect that ball at all times. You give the ball, turn the ball over and give it to a good Eastern View team, they're going to make you pay, and that's exactly right. Culpeper had some momentum, and they just lost it all right there.
Steve, 2 fumbles by the Blue Devils, 1 resulting in a turnover. The other one, the first one, resulted in having to punt and not being able to take advantage of a good 3rd down situation. That one turns the ball over to the Cyclones. And so the Cyclone offense goes back to work. Will set up on their own 46 with 8:09 to play here in the second quarter. Our score, 13-0. Eastern View scored on its first 2 possessions. Now the Blue Devils show pressure. The running back runs past it. He's in the open field 40 at the 30, makes a cut, and then tackled down deep in Blue Devil territory. That was number 23, Darius Stafford of Eastern View.
Mark, good play call right there. He avoided the pressure. Culpeper's putting pressure on the ball, and he just ran right past it. Had an open field and took it all the way down. But good thing for the Blue Devils, they were able to keep him out of the end zone.
41 yards on the play, Steve, down to the Blue Devil 13. Now we're getting a little bit of breeze. It's cooling down some here at Cyclone Stadium, but the Cyclone offense tries to stay hot. They keep it on the ground, and the Blue Devils there with
big number 63 for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, number 63, Jason Young in on the tackle. And no gain. Brings up 2nd and 10. Check the ball carriers back there. So it's number 23, Darius Stafford. Here's DeMaio Hunter. Rolls to his left. Here comes some pressure. He throws. He's got a receiver. And I think that's Mr. Clatterbaugh again. And it is for his 3rd touchdown of the night. And it comes from 13 yards out.
They lock the doors, shut the windows. It is a Cyclone touchdown. Hunter to Walker from about how many yards, Mark?
13.
13.
Clatterbaugh's 3rd touchdown tonight. He tends to cap the drive, doesn't he?
He sure does.
He's done it 3 times. 19-0 is our score with 7:14 to play here in the second quarter. And Braden Capolini will be on for the point after. I really like that name, Steve, and you know why? It reminds me of another name from the 70s.
John
Capoletti at Penn State. Won the Heisman, didn't he? This
Yep.
kick was not pretty. They might have got a hand on it, but the thing is, it did clear the crossbar, and that'll make it 20-0. Yeah, so Capolini sounds similar to Capoletti.
They're both Italian.
Yeah. They just have a good sounding name to it. All right. So our score 20-0 in favor of the Cyclones, and we're not even midway through the second quarter yet. The Blue Devils showed a little bit of spark and life on that possession where they got their first down, and you had that pass play to Cole Plaster. But I think what's going on, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I really think it's the Eastern View pressure is just rattling the Blue Devils.
It is. It's rattling the Blue Devils there, and basically, and give Clatterball some good way he came back for that football. He saw this quarterback was being flushed out of the pocket and running around, and he just got open for Hunter was able to find him for his third touchdown so far this evening.
And you know how he's finished his scoring runs 3 times is that he lowers that shoulder, goes full steam ahead. Somebody unlucky enough's got to make contact with him.
Yep, they sure did. And I mean, sometimes you're not going to come out on top in those situations.
Capolini will be kicking the ball off.
So Capolini will be kicking off. Let's see who the Blue Devils send back deep, hoping to get a return on this one. Steve, looks like we've got number 22 and number 16. Here's Capolini's kick. And this will be returned by number 16. That's Devon Cooper.
And we got a flag on the field mark. Looks like it's going to be holding against Culpeper.
Looks like
Lily's hands.
Yeah, looks like the tackle made Jaheim Fry. The special teams play. So is this going to work against the Blue Devils? Going to push them back some.
Yep. It's going to push them back. 15. Yeah, so the ball's going to be spotted.
You see the fellow in the white hat, Steve?
Yeah.
He's about ready to tell us all about it here. He tends to take his touch.
Holding, yeah.
Holding on the Blue Devils.
Holding against the Blue Devils. And of course, they didn't
Marked
need
off,
that.
the Blue Devils
7:10 to go in this one. Been all Cyclones. Eastern View leads 20-0 here in the second quarter.
first and 10 for the Blue
And
Devils
this
at the
broadcast
16-yard
brought
line.
to you in part by Cash Imprints, from shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473.
See what the Blue Devils can do here, Mark. They cannot commit a turnover here deep in their own territory.
Deep meaning 16-yard line,
Yep.
as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
Now the Blue Devils have had good field position once in this game, and the pressure continues from the Eastern View defense
Host the Cyclones
here on the
tackle.
running play, and being held to 1 or 2 yards.
And, you know,
I believe was number 16, Devon Cooper.
and
Cooper,
Clatterball
the ball
was in on the
carrier,
tackle, and they're doing
picks up
what I
2
would
yards.
think most teams do. If you got a superstar on a
Second
team
and
like
8 for the Blue
Clatterball,
Devils.
what you want to do if you're the opposing team is run at him as opposed to running away from him. Make him engage him and make him beat off the blocker to make that tackle. And so far, though, he's done a good job at it.
And we're talking about Clatterball. He wears jersey number 34, typically an inside linebacker. This time he stays home to play in that zone, and they complete the pass
Pass
out there
incomplete
to Devon Polari.
to Devon Polari.
And so a little bit of life here as Devon Polari gives the Blue Devils their second first down of the game. And there, Johnny's keyed in on the Blue Devils side of things, Steve. They got a pretty good crowd out there as
Yeah,
well.
It's one of the biggest crowds I've seen for the Cannonball Classic in a few years.
16 yards on the play. First down, Blue Devils. They have it at their own 34, and the clock continues to run with 6:06 to play. Second quarter action, and again, Cyclones 20, Blue Devils nothing. Bennett Sutherland has a man in motion, and now he sets up on the left side. Fake Sutherland keeps it. Stiff arms the first defender, gets out of bounds near the 40-yard line. He'll pick up about 6 yards on the play, stops the clock, brings up 2nd and 4.
And Mark, that's what they've got to do right now. They got to get Sutherland plays better, I think, when he's rolling out. He's got some freedom away from that relentless pass rush of Eastern View. So what they're going to do is look for, to be more rolling out passes where he has to make the decision, do I throw it or I run it? If he can get that edge, more power to him, keep letting him run it.
All right, so the Blue Devils now looking at 2nd and 7. Bennett Sutherland in the gun. He's got 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Man in motion here who's going to set up on the left to block for the running back here as he dives forward to the 40, and that is number 22 we mentioned was J.Q. Williams for the Blue Devils.
And he was brought down, I think, by number 44 for the Cyclones.
And that's Detrez Gahagan. Ball at the 40, and they need 4 yards for a first down. To try to keep the the Cyclone offense off the field, Steve, the Blue Devils need a sustained drive here.
They do.
Here it is on 3rd down and about 4. Long snap count. Bennett Sutherland with a pressure. With a protection hold up as he threw to the near the sidelines. His intended receiver there was Cole Plaster. Now it brings up 4th down, and you think definitely a punt here.
Problem is, Cole Plaster's a good athlete, but he's not a tall, pass receiver, not a big target. And to try to throw that ball, you don't want to throw a lot of air on it. You want to throw it like a bullet, and where he can catch it. He just couldn't catch it there.
Jason Spencer back for the Cyclones. R.J. Uribe is the punter and the kicker. He's going to punt this one likely from about the 25-yard line. He's got pretty good hands. This one nearly blocked. Line drive, 1 bounce, scooped up at the 30. Ball loose after the hit. Let's see who comes up with it. Blue Devils are close to it, and it looks like they have it, and they do. Here's a big turnover, and this one was collected by Cole Plaster. We were just talking about him, Steve. The return specialist was Jason Spencer, unable to hold on to it.
That was a good play all the way by Plaster, Mark. He refused to get blocked, and he kept up with the play and grabbed him. And Eastern View, the player thought he had cleared him, was going to run down the sideline, but there Plaster was and hit him right on the arm and made him. And then what was really good, he recovered the football.
Exactly.
Kept Eastern View from recovering that football.
Well, I know they're expecting Cole Plaster to do several things with this team. I mean, he doesn't have the height you were talking about as far as a receiver, but certainly does have good hands, runs good routes, and seems to be a real steady and heads-up kind of player.
Yep.
Now, best field position the Blue Devils have had all night. They have it at the Eastern View 26-yard line. They trail 20-0 with 4:27 to play in the second quarter. And they go back to J.Q. Williams, who takes a huge hit from Brett Clatterball just shy of the 20-yard line.
Get a number of that train. It's called a number 34 train, Mark.
Yeah.
That's what these schools are looking at. His closing speed is so quick, and he just closed right there on number 16 for Culpeper.
Well, and we've been around watching sports since the 60s, and who do people remind you of from time to time? Well, a play like that, it's sort of, who I thought of? I thought of Brian Urlacher.
Yeah. Boom. You're right. Smash.
But what I like about Clatterball is he's got those offensive skills too. I mean, at some point probably he'll have to decide where he's going to actually play, when you get a little bit closer to entering college. But he's a force on both sides of the ball. Here he comes in the backfield. Somehow Bennett Sutherland got away from him, but not from Clatterball's teammate there, number 10, and that is Keegan Brown making the tackle.
He blew up, number 16 for Culpeper. Brett did. He blew up.
This is kind of a good time of day here at Cyclone Stadium, Steve, where we're getting into where the sun's gone down some. The picture of what we're seeing becomes clearer to us, don't you agree?
Yep, I agree.
It's a little easier to see what's going on. Sometimes during the spring sports, like during lacrosse, the sun is in a position where it can be very blinding to you.
It's getting a lower angle. The fall's coming.
From the 26-yard line, Blue Devils looking at 3rd and 10. Bennett Sutherland wants the blocking to hold up, but it's not going to because the Cyclones are all over it again, getting great penetration and great first starts off that snap, and they're just in the Blue Devil backfield way too frequently and way too quickly to satisfy Bennett Sutherland.
Right, and the blocking's got to hold up, and the officials are calling. Was there a flag thrown in the play? I didn't see one.
While the officials discuss, if you have lost a set of keys that are on a green lanyard with some alien figures.
Well, they're sorting it out, of course. We got 2:31 to play here in the second.
And it's a Honda car.
We'll see what the call is. I didn't see a flag.
The man in the white hat about to tell us all about it right here.
No, he is, or
Little confusion out there, wouldn't you say?
I think the officials are a little confused themselves. First game jitters.
First game jitters.
So you see what the.
So after further discussion,
No foul. I'm trying to read lips.
ooh, that's a personal foul against Eastern View, Steve.
Wow. Repeat
That's the
third
big
down.
one.
Repeat third down. But it's not enough to give him a first down. It's probably a late hit.
But you said you didn't see a penalty flag, right?
I did not see a flag at all.
And this is something that.
But one threw a hat.
Right.
I guess he couldn't get the flag out of his belt, but
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think, or maybe it just seems this way, that it takes so long to deliberate on what the official call is?
I don't know.
Or is it
Well,
my imagination?
It's not your imagination because we don't have replay, so they want to make sure they get it right. But if saying it was a late hit, now they're marking it off. This might give them a first down. We'll see. It's a dead ball.
Right, so I figure they had to mark it off for the unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, but it did not quite enough to give them because it's dead ball from where it happened, the infraction.
Right, so they're going to spot it just inside that 20,
Right.
and now it's going to be about 3rd and 3.
Yep, you got correct. But now, the official saying, why wouldn't it start from the line of scrimmage and go forward? But because it's a dead ball foul, now they're still not ready yet.
While the officials discuss, it's always great to see former
Someone get a rule book out for them.
Cyclone Stadium supporting
Let's take a vote.
the new Cyclones.
Well, it looks like they got 4th down on the scoreboard clock, but they got 3rd down on the down marker.
Yep, they got to get now's the timeout.
All right, now they're going to take a timeout and sort it out. All right, well, then that's going to give us an opportunity to thank our timeout sponsor. Who is it this year? It's UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. Go to uvacreditunion.org. All right. And also, want to mention this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. All right. Well, Steve, that just seemed like a lot of deliberation and not really I guess the official verdict was unsportsmanlike. They eventually marked it off, but it wasn't enough for a first down.
Coach Landry gave the offending party a mouthful just there, and that was good. He said, look, you're costing us. Don't be, caused to, unsportsmanlike penalty conduct.
All right, and then, again, you look at the scoreboard, operator has it 4th down. They've got 3rd down on the down marker over there.
Yep.
So something a little amiss.
Is it 3rd or?
Down marker says 3rd,
Yeah.
Scoreboard says 4, and after that long delay, I'm not so sure, but here's a penalty flag as the receiver drops this one, and that was number 4, Steve. Devon Polari dropped the ball, and the penalty flag was thrown early on.
And the coach saying it's against Culpeper. We'll see what the full call is.
Maybe this will be a little more decisive early on.
Officials are a lot of sync here, Mark.
A lot of conferring.
Yep.
Maybe a lot of, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Just want to make sure.
Mark it off.
Now, what we do know, what I think I'd be willing to bet on, it is against the Blue Devils.
And we'll see what the call is first. I still haven't seen the call.
Yeah.
Holding on the Blue Devils.
So it's just really this, what I'm thinking is this delayed deliberation.
I never see it unless it's a first-year crew working together.
I don't know. I don't think so, but I mean, I don't mean it critically, but I mean, it just seems like
13 for the Blue Devils.
maybe they're just taking more time to make sure they get it right. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
but what we do know now, they have marked it off, and it puts the ball back to the 29.
3rd and 13.
2:27 to play. Second quarter action. 20-0. Cyclones. Bennett Sutherland now looking at a 3rd and long. 3rd and 13 to be exact. Here comes the pressure. He's not going to get away from him. And that was number 7. That's Josh Perez.
He just all he did the right thing. Just pushed him down and tapped him. No sense jumping on there, getting a penalty called against you for hitting a defenseless player.
All right, so 4th down. Ball is at the 36. What do you do here if you're the Blue Devils?
You got to punt it, Mark. You can't give. There's 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. You don't want to give Eastern View all it can handle. Easy field and to go ahead and take it down for a touchdown right before half. I'd rather pin them back, but they're not. They look like they're not going to punt. They're going to go for it here.
Well, at least they'll line up to, right?
Yep. But even what's 5 yards going to give you? Get them off sides.
Well, but then if you, I don't know, maybe they're starting to think we got to get something going here. I mean, how many opportunities we're going to have the way the Cyclones are playing on offense. Here comes the pressure. Looks like they pick it up. They throw it over the middle, and this one's incomplete. And he had a receiver open over the middle. It was Garrett Danewood outside his reach. And now the Blue Devils will turn it over on downs. That's not a bad play call, Steve. He was open.
He was open, but you had pressure there by Brett Clatterbaugh and company. I mean, Brett you can hear the pads hit up here. He is a force to be reckoned with.
He is, but didn't the Blue Devils pick that one up, the blitz, so Sutherland had time to throw it?
Yep. I mean, they did pick it up, and which is good for the Blue Devils. Now you give Eastern View the ball here, with under a minute and 20 here to go in the first half.
At the 36-yard line go the Cyclones. They've had their way on offense. They throw. This one almost picked off. He timed it very well. Did Cole Plaster, who stepped in front of that receiver and almost picked it off.
Which was Clatterbaugh was the receiver. If DeMaio was a little bit more accurate, he had him running in that post play because he had his defender beat.
Well, with this being the first game, chances are that accuracy will improve, don't you think? And then going to Clatterbaugh, I mean, that's could have been a very big play. Here come the Blue Devils rush. And this is getting in there was number 4, Devon Polari makes the tackle. So Blue Devils taking a cue from the Eastern View defense, Steve, with this pressure and this blitz getting in there. And they've really got to do something to shake it up.
You're right. They got to do something and, get it, right now. They want to go in down 20-0. They don't want to go down 27-0.
And final minute ticking off here in the second quarter. DeMaio Hunter lost it for a second, picked it up, went straight ahead, and then Devon Polari makes the tackle in the open field, shy of that 40-yard line. He was at the 32. They'll mark it at the 38. Pickup of 6. Clock continues to run. 30 seconds and counting here in the second quarter.
If I was, I wouldn't punt it here either. I'd run it down as much as you can, and then take it, and then take a shot. Why not?
Jeff Jenkins, offensive coordinator down there, talking to the Cyclone players. They are letting it run down. And it looks like they're going to run it down and then call a timeout, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or can they let it run out and not get a playoff? That's what they're going to do.
Yep.
All right. Well, we've played one half here of our Cannonball Classic here at Cyclone Stadium. It's been all Cyclones as the two teams go to the intermission. The Cyclones up 20-0. Enjoy the halftime show. We'll come back after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
Great job by the Blue Devil Marching Band. And now to continue your halftime enjoyment, the Eastern View Marching Cyclones, under the direction of Mr. Adam Roach. Drum majors Valerie Alvarado Alas. Tonight's show is La Nuba from Cirque du Soleil, featuring Distorted and Ree Rose. Drum major Valerie Alvarado Alas. Is your band ready?
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Son, 825-3530. Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, 825-8371.
All right, welcome back to our broadcast at Cyclone Stadium. This is the annual Cannonball Classic. We're a couple minutes away from the start of the third quarter. I'm Mark O'Connell, alongside Steve Peacock, of course. Johnny Krawchuk behind the camera. Nicole Wooten back in the studio. We are live tonight, and of course our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air. All right, Steve, first half, it all belonged to Eastern View for the most part. Let's start with the Cyclones. They did a lot of things right, but there was one thing they did wrong.
They couldn't contain Brett Clatterbaugh, and they couldn't generate any type of offense, Mark.
Well, you're talking about the Blue Devils.
Yes.
Right. I was talking about first. That's
sorry.
okay. First of all, the Cyclones. Really, the only thing that I think they did wrong were the penalties.
With the penalties, you're right. That's the only thing I saw was the penalties that kind of bogged them down a little bit. But other than that, they've just been dominating against the Blue Devils.
Which sign of life did you see on the Blue Devils side in terms of? Did the Blue Devils at some point make any adjustments where Bennett Sutherland had a little bit more time to operate?
I thought they did in the third, about the back third of the second quarter, where they got them rolling out and running, rolling out pass plays, trying to get them the edge and try to make a play. I thought they did a better job of that in the second quarter. But right now, it's all up front. It's all up front, Mark. And right now, Eastern View is dominating that.
So, Steve, we saw from Eastern View a team that took advantage of good field position early on, and then they just had that offensive juggernaut going between DeMaio, Hunter, running, passing, handing off to the running backs up there, predominantly Jaden Williams, but then capping each of those three scoring drives by getting the ball into the hands of Brett Clatterbaugh, who we know to wear jersey number 34, but we were tuned in or alerted to the fact that because he had a rip in that jersey, he would change jersey for the second half. He will be wearing jersey number 24.
24.
Brett Clatterbaugh from 34 to 24, so you will see 24 predominantly in the second half. Okay, so I expect, Eastern View will be kicking off. If you were Coach Ford and your assistants, what were you telling the Blue Devils at intermission as far as trying to change the stick?
One thing, don't get down on yourselves. Get better blocking up front. Cut down on the mistakes. And there really hasn't been many mistakes by Culpeper. They're just getting overwhelmed at the line of scrimmage, and that has not bode well for the Blue Devils.
And we knew that would likely be a problem when you think about.
Cooper and Williams,
we talked about the verb reinventing themselves. We knew it would start up front. If you lose 4 of your 5 starting offensive linemen, that's huge.
It is, and it's hard to replace because you got everybody doing everything new, and you've basically got one Tucker Dean, and he's basically got to teach the all new techniques to the other linemen, and they got to be coached up.
Cappellini's kick fielded near the 20-yard line. And this return, pretty good one out across the 35, was number 16 of Culpeper, and that is Devon Cooper. So pretty good field position, relatively speaking, and comparatively speaking for the Blue Devils, Steve, because they didn't do real well in that department in that first half.
No, they didn't, and right now they're going to see, what is going to work up front, and are we going to get our passing game going, or are we going to get our running game going? And I don't like how the two receivers come out, they stand out here in the sideline where everyone else is huddling up. You're just telling the defense they're going to be a run play.
All right, I hadn't even thought about it that way, but you're talking about two receivers on their side, including Cole Plaster, really in the slot. They do go to the run just like you called it, and a pretty good run by the running back there, number 22. That's J.Q. Williams, determined effort, and he got across the 40, There you see number 24 is Brett Clatterball. I mentioned not wearing 34 now. They mark it now at the 42. So he actually picked up 5 yards. Now, if you're the Blue Devils, you can pick up 5 yards on the first couple downs. You're okay with it.
Right.
But that was not the case for them in that first half.
No, it wasn't. And, and again, they're going to look at, see,
Yeah.
and we're going to see right now where what they're going to do here offensively. They're going to go right back to the same thing, or they're going to try to throw it.
Well, Bennett Sutherland, the quarterback here, they go back to the run, and this time Williams is bottled up in the backfield for a loss. We'll drop him at the 40, so he'll lose 2. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 7. Well, I wanted to mention that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Son, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
And see, right now, I just don't think Culpeper has the offensive personnel that can really beat Eastern View, especially up front. And that's where it's all going right now. The Culpeper they're just trying to get rid of the ball as fast as they can.
Got a whistle and stoppage. This is going to be a timeout taken by the Blue Devils. Our timeout sponsor this year is UVA Credit Union. The UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. Visit them at uvacreditunion.org. All right. And also, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. Okay, 10:29 to play, Steve. Third quarter, 20-0 in favor of the Cyclones. Let's pick up some of those linemen and see who's getting the starting nod for the Blue Devils up front this year.
We want to start number 50, Braden Walker. I was going to say.
No, for Culpeper.
Oh, for Culpeper? Okay. But let me finish on Braden Walker.
Sure.
I wanted to say that he's it's not just Brett Clatterball getting all the attention of the scout. So is Braden Walker, and he's committed to Elon to play football at Elon, North Carolina.
Elon, North Carolina.
They're Division I.
3rd and 7 from the 40, following the timeout by the Blue Devils. Bennett Sutherland, here comes the pressure. And he airs, he's got a receiver out there. Coming back to retrieve it was Cole Plaster and knock him out of bounds. Eastern View territory inside the 40, we're going to make it inside about the 45-yard line, rather.
And that was a good play. Bennett Sutherland stood in there, Mark, and he took a hit, but he got the ball, and it was a mix-up in coverage for Eastern View. They had nobody on. Plaster, he was sitting out there all by himself. Good recognition by Sutherland to find him, and good route running by Plaster.
I think that's his second catch of the night, isn't it? And for 2 first downs as well.
And who's wide here for Culpeper, number 24?
All right, that's Marshall, isn't it? A.J. Marshall? Yeah. Anthony Marshall, also known as A.J. Marshall. He figured in pretty big in the scheme last year. Right now, we haven't really called his name tonight. Plaster's been on the receiving end. We got movement right side. That'll cost the Blue Devils 5 yards. Now that's big number 77, Hunter North, playing that right tackle position. Next to him is number 50. The right guard would be Aiden Curley. The center we mentioned is Tucker Dean. And we'll pick up the left guard and left tackle when we can.
And also the other side is big number 75.
All right, that's Genoa Lane.
And then
53, Christian Angelos.
Let's see who he breaks here.
Yeah, you see number 53 there? That was he's likely that left guard. Christian Angelos. Number 22 is J.Q. Williams. Number 4 is Devon Polari.
Number 50.
And number 50 is Aiden Curley.
Okay, you already mentioned that.
All right, from the 47 now, it's 1st and 15. Here is Williams, the ball carrier. Looking for some running room, doesn't find much. He's able to get it out near the 45-yard line.
7 yards.
That's what Culpeper is trying to do. They're going to try to find where Clatterball is on and try to run at him and try to make him, force a play instead of, them running away from him. And he's so fast, he's able to run it down. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Blue Devils do here.
Well, the Blue Devils had moved it to the Eastern View 48 before they went backwards. Now they have it at the Eastern View 46, where it's 2nd down and 8, 9:45, third quarter action. Clock is moving, and our score remains 20-0. in favor of the Cyclones. They had a very dominant first half. Blue Devils start this half, third quarter, on offense. Bennett Sutherland has time this time, and he gets it out there complete to Garrett Damewood. And that'll be enough for a Blue Devil first down, and Damewood feels pretty inspired by it because they're going to move the sticks on this one, Steve.
Yeah, they are. Mark, that was a good play. Good throw by Sutherland. He's showing off his arm now. That's what's really surprised me in this. Seeing him now versus the last 2 years, his arm strength has gotten a lot better.
Looks like we got injured Cyclone, maybe a cramp, you think? Jason Spencer is being attended to, likely a cramp. You talk about getting those when it's hot, right?
Yep, you get them a lot when you're hot. It's got
someone to pick you up.
Yep.
All right, now I want to talk about Bennett Sutherland. Isn't it fair to say, naturally speaking, we're going to see him at his best when he's got time to operate?
Exactly. I mean, when he's got time to operate, he can find his receiver. He's shown a knack for getting the ball out there. I mean, and Plasters looks like he's going to be his go-to guy.
Steve, did we mention number 74, Jaden Johnson for the Blue Devils?
No.
Looks like he's in the lineup. Tucker Daniel mentioned his number 56, the center. Number 50 is Aiden Curley. Number 16 is Devon Cooper. And number 7, of course, Bennett Sutherland. We mentioned 77 is Hunter North. He's playing that right tackle position. So,
and we haven't seen Jakari Edwards. I don't think he's suited up.
And that was really the player I thought would be likely their primary ball carrier.
I did too.
We'll have to get a status report on him. Now the Blue Devils load up that left side with 3 receivers. In the backfield is Devon Cooper alongside Bennett Sutherland. Sutherland, here comes the pressure. He's going to have to get rid of it, and does. Throws incomplete. That's better than a sack. And it's going to bring up second down and 10.
Guess who was chasing him?
Going to guess number 24?
Yep.
That would be Brett Clatterball. We mentioned the jersey change because his jersey number 34 was ripped in that first half. So he is wearing number 24. Ball remains at the 37-yard line. It's second down and 10. Clock stopped off the incomplete pass. 8:57 to play. Third quarter action. Again, Cyclones 20, Blue Devils nothing. Now the Blue Devils started this drive, this opening possession in the third quarter on their own 37, and they have it now at the Cyclone 37. Let's see if the protection can hold up for Sutherland as he hands off again to Devon Cooper. Really nowhere to go on the play.
Yeah, it looks like, let's see what the Culpeper's got to do here. A big second down play, second and long mark. And they've, like I said, they're going to have to go to the pass.
Steve, they got a penalty flag over there as well.
Okay, all right. See what
And the Cyclones are indicating against the Blue Devils. And after some not as long of deliberation, looks like we're going to have a call here in just a moment.
I mean, I don't see the flags too much. I mean, they must keep me hidden.
It was over along the far sidelines area.
So what's the call here? Probably
The
be a
sideline
hold.
judge, I guess, made it.
Could be a hold here.
Well, I think we're going to be the last to know.
Yeah, it's a 5-yarder. No, is it more?
It's got to be more than that. Well, it's holding. Yeah,
Holding.
that's a big one.
See, they picked up good yardage on that play, Mark. Now it's, again, another mistake, penalty.
10-yard spot foul.
Well, you've always talked about penalties and mistakes, so get you every time, right?
They sure do.
Back to the 47-yard line.
And the other thing is, people got to understand, this is a district game right off the bat.
But I want to revisit that here in just a second. Talk about as Bennett Sutherland is sacked and slung to the ground rather hardly.
Sutherland sacked.
And he just got flattened there, Mark. I mean, that's where, right now, Eastern View is figuring out they're going to try to pass, and now they're bringing all the pressure.
I think he's going to be a happier quarterback when he's got a little bit more time to operate back there. Makes for a long night, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's got big guys up front, but when they're all new and you're learning each other's moves and stuff, it's tough.
8 minutes to play, clock ticking, third quarter, 20-0 Cyclones. Blue Devils have it now 3rd and 23. They went back into their own territory at the 46. And here is Sutherland bottled up again and dropped for yet another loss. They were going backwards, Steve. They started their own 37. They had moved it down to the Eastern View 37 and then back to the Culpeper side of midfield. And then on that play, Sutherland has no chance at all. And it forces a fourth and very long. And we'll see R.J. Uribe come on to punt this one away for the Blue Devils. So once again, they're foiled on offense, and they remain scoreless. That's Plaster in motion, setting up. This is a high snap. Uribe can't bring it down. He's going to pick it up and be tackled immediately at the 15-yard line. Well, earlier in the game, Uribe fielded a high snap, but that was just simply out of his reach. There was nothing he could do.
No, nothing he could do. That's not the punter's fault. Again, another big mistake by the Blue Devils. And Mark, it's just getting to be the same old hat. I mean, Culpeper has never beaten Eastern View, when it first started in 2008 to here. Culpeper, I don't know what it is. It seems like, but they just can't get past beating this team. And but it also goes down to personnel. I get all that, but there's no emotion right now on the Culpeper sideline, none.
Well, that play ended up going to the 15-yard line, and the Cyclones taking over from there, and now they get it to their receiver, who just refuses to go down, and that's Xavier Carl in from 15 yards out.
It's a touchdown, Mark, but there's a flag on it because he spiked the football. So anyway, but you got to say, close the window, shut the door, feel that wind. It's a Cyclone touchdown. But it's going to be a touchdown's going to count. But the extra point, they're going to knock, or they'll do that essentially on the kickoff.
Probably on the kickoff, right.
Because he spiked the football. When he got in, he slammed it down. The referee flagged him for it.
15-yard touchdown pass to Mayo Hunter to Xavier Carr.
We did have a penalty marker.
So
that's touchdown.
They haven't put the points on the board yet.
Yeah.
Now they have. It's 26-0 with 7:02 to play here in the third quarter. Well, you know, I don't know that the Blue Devils will stop the Cyclones on that drive. We'll never know. But when you take over on the 15-yard line,
Yep.
you put your defense really terrible position.
Let's see what the call is.
So you're saying it's a dead ball and sportsmanlike, yeah.
Yeah.
But the touchdown is good.
And it'll be assessed on the kickoff.
And now on to the point after is Braden Capellini. Let's check out who the holder is this year. It's number 5 for the Cyclones, and that is DeMayo Hunter. No surprise there. Your quarterback's always got good hands, and they often are your holders. And the kick is good. So 27-0 is our score. 7:02 to play here in the third quarter. It's been all Cyclones. Well, we mentioned we're live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. And this broadcast also brought to you in part by K&M Lawn and Garden and Arborist Supplies. Now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. All right, well, what do you think, Steve?
It's all Eastern View right now, Mark. I mean, they're just, Culpeper can't get anything going offensively. They do it spurts, but then they revert right back to mistakes, penalties, and being overwhelmed at the line of scrimmage. And there's no, I'm not going to, try to, step around it. The obvious thing is their line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Culpeper's line of scrimmage is very hard. Everyone says, oh, if you take out their skill players in this, they're not going to win the football game. No, if you take out your offensive line or defensive line, you cannot hold that line of scrimmage.
Right.
You are not going to win a football
I
game.
absolutely agree. We've talked about it. A lot of people have talked about it over the years. Battles are won and lost in the trenches. It's up front.
Yeah.
That's where it begins. And it really doesn't matter how good your quarterback is. If he doesn't have time to do anything, what do you expect him to do?
Yeah.
There's a pretty nice return out to midfield by the return man there. We'll pick that number up. It's 22, and that's going to be J.Q. Williams. Uh-oh, what we got going on here?
Fight going on.
All right, tempers flare. Will cooler heads prevail?
Yeah, they could get thrown out and not play next week. You could get thrown, tossed from the game. And
Well,
the referees had thrown it. It was it was against Culpeper, or and they threw the flag. Could it be a bad block or something like that? And the Eastern View player didn't take too kindly to it. But kudos to Brett Clatterball and the coach getting out there. And then coach is talking to him now, saying, look, you got to be smarter than that.
Or you're saying that Clatterball might have been involved in it?
Yeah.
Tickets out.
Let me see.
The winning ticket for the 50-50 drawing is ticket number 530.
Well, it's unfortunate that it happened.
Yeah. I think Clatterball just got tossed.
Again, the winning ticket is 530.
Well, what we know for certain is he's taking his helmet off and he's on the sideline.
He's on the sideline. We'll see what the officials mark off here. Because if he gets thrown out, he cannot play next Friday. He's out for a game, and you don't want that. So I just know that there's the coach addressing the team. He's all in their face about it. I don't blame him. It's not how you should play football.
Well, I wasn't able to see what happened away from the ball, but it's never pretty when this sort of thing unfolds.
I don't know if he threw him out or not. Like I said, they're still looking, still debating it. So Brett was I guess they were because they jumped on him, or Culpeper did, and he's all over the field, and they know, and he got his temper get the best of him. I think he's unbuckling. I think he's done.
Well, you seem to have a keen eye for it. That's certainly not a good sign based on what's going on right now.
I know he's upset, but he's got to learn to calm down. It's the players are going to try to do that.
50-50 raffle, 530-555.
Who really knows what happened and what was said away from the ball? You can't hear it.
No, but it was a hit, and then they threw the flag. It was a late hit on Brett. I mean, I saw it coming. He got popped in the back, and he got up and challenged it. And I think if he threw a punch, you're done.
Yeah, I just don't know. So he's taking his jersey off and so he is done for the night.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to know the specifics.
Yep. Keep talking to him. Coach is giving it to him too, So you lose your best player now, 6 minutes into the third quarter. Let's see what the...
Looks like the jury's back. So we got a holding against Culpeper.
Yeah.
Holding against the Blue Devils.
And then we have
Dead
going to be
ball.
a personal, unsportsmanlike against Eastern View.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike
Against Culpeper as well. They all set.
But they threw out a Culpeper player, and they threw out a
Clatterball.
yeah.
So Clatterball has taken his jersey and the pads off. I don't know who is out for the Blue Devils, but this is the sort of thing that really mars the action, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, he had a great game. He's playing very well and all that. And I know he's upset because he got hit in the back. I mean, I was watching over there, and he just got crushed. I mean, it wasn't even in the play, and he got mad because they were going after. He didn't get crushed. They just hit him below. They're going after his knees, and he didn't like it. And I don't blame him. But he's got to learn to control his emotions because now being tossed, he doesn't play next week.
And we'll take a look at this.
Unless the officials, there'll be an appeal made to the VHSL, and if the officials say that he can play, but now he's got to leave the field.
All right, and there he goes. And when the action resumes here, the Blue Devils have it first and 10 at their own 40. Coming near side and making a cut is and losing the ball was number 16, Devon Cooper.
Got another flag in here too.
Well, the flags have been flying. Now it's as though you can almost expect them to fly.
Yeah.
So this is where both teams have to regroup. Well, let me tell you, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. That's Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673.
Thanks, man.
See, someone from Culpeper got tossed out. I see some pads on there. So something from Culpeper that, I don't know who
Result of
did.
that is a first
But
down for the Blue Devils.
it's just that doesn't look good for. Because also teams scouting him here too. You just can't lose your composure. I mean, Brett's young. And
Because that's a factor, isn't it? It's a consideration. Bennett Sutherland throws near side to Cole Plaster, who's corralled out of bounds near the 43-yard line.
Picked up 3.
That's a gain of 3 yards. It'll stop the clock. He got out of bounds. 6:33 to play here in the third quarter over at Cyclone Stadium, the annual Cannonball Classic, and the Cyclones well out in front, 27-0.
Yeah, but now, Culpeper's got a little aim, to see if they can put together a drive here and see if they can score.
Well, one of the things about it, Steve, it's unfortunate under the circumstances of how Clatterball left the game. But you take away his presence on the defensive side, that is a huge force no longer exists out there.
No, in offense, he scored all the touchdowns.
Well, he had 3, right. He had 3 of the 4, exactly. Here is some pressure, and Sutherland was able to dump it off. I thought they're going to rule it was a fumble, apparently, and it's going to be advanced here by number 7, Josh Perez.
And they're saying, they're saying, was it a fumble or was arm going forward?
Well, I thought it was an arm going forward, but then the official apparently had no doubt in his mind. They ruled it a fumble, and they were able to advance it. Was Josh Perez. And I don't know if Bennett Sutherland's going to win his appeal here or not.
Coach of Ford's out there. He's saying the ball was moving forward, and the official, there's no replay. Call's made. Can't reverse the call.
Well, I certainly could be wrong, it was just from my point of view, limited, Well,
Sutherland's out there telling my arm is going forward.
And that's what I thought I saw, but I could be very wrong. And ultimately, of course, the man in the white hat has to make that decision.
Yep.
And as you pointed out, we don't have the benefit of review, do we?
No.
Oh, now they're going to say incomplete pass. All right, so
Oh, okay.
we were right.
It was. Now they're bringing it back. Yeah.
Yeah, they got to bring it back on the incomplete pass. The line of scrimmage was the 42-yard line.
Yeah.
Incomplete pass.
Yeah, I thought it was. His arm was going forward. They had to be an incomplete because he was, moving forward with the ball.
So upon further review, or consideration rather, they ruled an incomplete pass, and that's good for the Blue Devils.
So this hadn't been the officials, I think, are losing control of this ball game a little bit. They're making too many long decisions.
Right.
Make the decision, stick with the call, and move on.
But didn't we sort of experienced that some last season, Steve?
Yep.
We were talking about, why is it taking so long to make a call?
I don't know. I mean, it's really.
I understand you want to get it right, but there's that flow of the game thing too,
Well, the other thing, too, is you got your more experienced officials are retiring, and you got new ones in, and you got a crew that's not worked together, and, that can pose a lot of problems. And
All right, A.J. Marshall here, wide receiver, bottom of your screen. We can't get going because looks like we're going to have a timeout. Is it an official timeout or is one of the teams taking it?
It's time with the Eastern View call timeout. But they want it just makes the game just go on longer and longer.
Timeout Eastern View.
All right. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. That's Found & Sons at 825-3530.
See, who does Eastern View play next week?
Well, I'm going to look at that
I think
schedule
Liberty.
here.
I think they got Liberty.
I will take a look at that schedule here momentarily, Steve, and I also want to look at Culpeper, but I'm pretty sure they're at Orange County next week.
Culpeper's at Orange.
And I think that's the game we're calling next week, isn't it? And
Yeah.
what do you know so far about those Fighting Hornets? How much fight do they have in them
Well,
this year?
again, they're doing a lot of rebuilding, too. They've lost a lot off their offensive line, and, they lost their quarterback.
Well, I know who's playing quarterback for them.
Who?
A fellow by the name of Jeremiah Wharton,
Okay.
and he is the son of Tim Wharton, who was just a monster fullback and linebacker back in his days. He played on those Orange teams like 99, 2000. So his son Jeremiah was playing linebacker last year as a freshman, started. And now this year they've got him playing quarterback. That's what I know about them so far.
But they got some skill players. But
they always do, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, they've had some fast kids that went on to play Division I. Don't remember them all by name, but name Hunter or something comes to mind. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're going to see them next week. That game will be at Porterfield Park. That's Jerry Sizemore Field, right?
Yep.
Porterfield Park, Orange County High School. Next week, we'll see the Fighting Hornets take on the Blue Devils. But right now, the Blue Devils still have a quarter and a half to play here against the Cyclones, and the Cyclones playing without Brett Clatterball. They're going to fake it, then throw it. They got a receiver, and it's caught. This is Devon Polari. Nope, make it Garrett Danewood, rather. Now, Danewood's picked up a couple key catches. Now, Stephen knows they got a long way to go. But isn't it easier for the Blue Devil blocking scheme, knowing that number 24 is not out there?
Well, now it looks like there's some confidence in them right now. And that's the other thing they didn't have, with Brett Clatterball in there causing all sorts of havoc against the Blue Devils.
And I think that's a good way of putting it. He really did wreak a lot of havoc. And he's going to every game. They've lost him for tonight's game, and right now Bennett Sutherland is sacked, and several Cyclones players in there on the play, including number 15, Grayson Quinn, up from his defensive back position.
But, Mark, what I wanted to say is one player doesn't win a football game for you.
True.
You got to have all 11 guys, and not taking away from Brett, but when you lose your cool like that, you're looked at as a leader. I'd let this be a lesson for you. You're only a sophomore, but you can't do that. And Coach was right. We're yelling at him and telling him, hey, this is the way it's going to go. And now, like I said, the punishment's going to be sitting out unless he wins on an appeal. And it might be getting an appeal only have to sit out the first half. But they're going to miss him next week. So
I think my concern would be maybe the long range. Would it hurt you in consideration?
Really no. I mean, they're looking at right now all the colleges that is, his physical tools and what he does, and that they realize that this is really he's a good kid. He's not anything. This is very uncharacter of him. But I know why he got mad, because someone was trying to hit him in his knees. And
well, that's just a cardinal rule that you don't break there.
Right.
You don't go over somebody's knees.
No, and. He got mad, and I don't blame him. But he threw a punch or pushed the guy. No, he threw a punch. If you just pushed, you wouldn't get thrown out. If you threw a punch, you're out.
Okay, here are the Blue Devils. 1st and 15. Bennett Sutherland. He's going to throw. He's got time. Downfield he goes. Incomplete. Good coverage out there. They were trying to hook up with A.J. Marshall. But the Cyclone defenders there, step by step, incomplete pass. Bring up 2nd down and 15.
Right.
4:59, clock stop, third quarter action, 27-0 Cyclones.
And now see Brett is on the field now. He's back up, suited up right here in front of us, 24.
Okay, so I don't know how to interpret that.
I don't either. I mean, it did show the officials say one was tossed. I don't think he's going to play. He just he can come back on the field. I thought he'd have to leave the game, but I might be mistaken.
Well, I must have lost it down as 3rd and 17, Steve, from the 34. They fake it. Bennett Sutherland throws it. Got a receiver, caught, and into the end zone, A.J. Marshall, Blue Devils' first score of the season.
Touchdown, Blue Devils!
I'm going to say it's 34-yard toss based on that line of scrimmage and what was on the clock there, the scoreboard, and that's going to be the 34-yard touchdown pass. Bennett Sutherland, A.J. Marshall gives the Blue Devils fans something to cheer about. And now on for the point after will be R.J. Uribe, and the holder looks like it's going to be Cole Plaster.
Yep, that was a good pass where he's wide open.
Well, I know, but we were talking about, look, Bennett Sutherland's been under constant pressure from the get-go here tonight, Steve. But when he has some time,
he's throwing it.
He's slinging it.
He's slinging it.
Plaster the holder, Uribe the kicker. Kick is up and good. Our score, 27-7. Well, the Blue Devils have certainly averted a shutout. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's maybe you take that away as a win, or maybe that's going to put the wind in their sail for momentum. I mean, it's only 4:52 in the third quarter, and then you got the whole fourth quarter, and you're down 20 points.
And they, it certainly brought some life over there to the Blue Devil fans, as Johnny has
Call now for Matt.
focused in on their crowd.
In Eastern View, you can see they're a different team when Clatterball is not in there.
Yeah,
So,
no question.
You know, and again, I mean, now it's got to be Braden Walker, number 50. You got to lean on your other senior. Your
Right.
senior right there, he's a leader. He's a quiet leader, but you got to lean on him and say, hey, he's going to be able to take those guys and say, hey, look, let's get back to playing football and quit worrying about, you know, who's saying what or, you know, any of the trash talk.
All right, this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. And CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing, outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. All right, well, the Blue Devils on the scoreboard. It came with 4:52 to play here in the third quarter. Our score 27-7. We mentioned Clatterball out of the lineup for the Cyclones, and Steve pointing out rather astutely that means Braden Walker probably going to have to step up and be that man with the pressure up front. Now they were able to get to Sutherland once or twice with Clatterball off the field.
Right.
But when Sutherland had time, he was able to hook up with his receivers as
He made
well.
it pay. He did. Because that's where Culpeper has got a matchup where they can beat Eastern View secondary. Is not as one that had to be replayed. A lot of people had to replace too back in that backfield.
Onside kick, they tried, and I believe the Blue Devils
They
may have
have-
recovered, and they have. Who's come up with his number 15 on your roster, and that's Dalton Butler.
Bills recover.
Well, they got a penalty flag down as well, so let's check the call here.
Yeah. Let's see if it's flagged. It did go 10 yards.
Well, I've got to admit that if you look at tonight's crowd, it's rather densely populated. I think it's
Yep.
really good. The fans have come out. I mean, we knew they would. This Eastern View side is virtually full, but if you look at the visitor side, there's not a lot of empty seats over
No,
there.
good. And they feel the momentum is shifting right here. Let's see what the call is.
That's a sideline warning, isn't it?
Yep, sideline
That was
warning.
sideline
Against
warning
Culpeper.
against the Blue
But it's
Devils.
Culpeper
Culpeper's
ball,
ball.
too. All right, and we're looking where they
So
take over. They're going to
ball
take over
again
at the
before
Eastern
down.
View 45-yard line.
Yep.
And as you pointed out, Steve, there's ample time here if the Blue Devils have put things together. The Cyclones, they have been dominant, but Bennett Sutherland able to connect with A.J. Marshall for a touchdown. Let's see if they can keep it going here. They go back to the pass. Cole Plaster goes up in the air for it. He's immediately tackled inside the Eastern View 45-yard line. So it's like a nominal gain here, maybe 2 yards.
Yeah, but that's still, Eastern View is still trying to pin their ears back and go for that big sack. I'd make them pay a little bit and do a little delay handoff. What you were doing in the first quarter worked a little bit. Soften that front four, that defense up, and then that'll be able then to be able to operate your receivers and better be able to move the ball downfield.
And I agree with that. You can do the delayed handoffs if you got the protection up front, right?
Yep.
You can't let these people, the defenders, into that backfield without some resistance.
Good cut.
There's a nice cut made by Devon Cooper. Then the Cyclones close pretty quickly there as their secondary comes up, led by number 15, Deuce Washington.
And we called Deuce's name a lot last year. He's big back in that secondary, and that was a good cutback by number 16 for Culpeper. And
But then Deuce Washington closed
it pretty
the
quick.
gap between them pretty quickly and made a nice tackle. So they mark it at the 39 where it's 3rd and 4. Clock running, 3:34 to go. Third quarter action, 27-7 in favor of the Cyclones. Long snap count. Bennett Sutherland, hands off. This is Cooper again, and it looks like Josh Perez making the
Cooper, the
tackle
ball
for Eastern
carrier.
View.
Picks up 2, brings up 4th and 2
Well, he
for
picked
Blue
up
Devils.
2.
4th and 2, and Culpeper's going to go for it.
I think you have to.
Now here's what you want to do for
Make
cadence.
some noise for your
Sutherland's
defense.
been good at doing this.
Let's get loud.
Yeah, and I think it was a long snap count last time, maybe trying to draw the defenders Well, now with 4th and 2, you probably want to do that. But I mean, at this point in the game, would you even be thinking about punting?
No, I mean you're down 20 points. You
Yeah.
gotta make this count right here.
Here's that long snap count. They're trying to draw them off sides. Now, Eastern View had those 3 encroachment penalties in the first half, but it looks like they're playing more discipline here, not taking the bait. And now Culpeper will have to call. I think Culpeper's going to call a timeout.
Good
And they
coaching.
do, right.
Good coaching by Eastern View right there. They knew that Culpeper was going to try to draw them off.
Well, they did stay disciplined that time, didn't they?
Yep.
Well, our timeout sponsor this year is UVA Credit Union. UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and the Culpeper community. You can visit them at uvacreditunion.org. All right. Again, we mentioned that we're live, and our live sponsor is Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. So, Steve, has this third quarter kind of moved along rather slowly? I think it has because of all the delays.
Delays and, and penalties and everything else that's going on. A few extracurricular activities.
Well, some unpleasantries, don't you think?
You're right. You're exactly right.
They weren't exchanging pleasantries. And those unpleasantries led to the possible ejection of a player on each team, and really just sort of marred the game, I think, because it was cleanly played up to that point.
And you don't want to be, it happens to be Eastern View's best player gets the toss. I mean, I can't see who got for Culpeper. It's somebody over there I see with it.
All right, after the timeout, it's 4th and 2. Blue Devils. They need 2 yards to keep it going. Not going to get it. Well, he's slung down by Braden Walker. You've been mentioning him. He would step up with clatter ball on the sidelines. And Braden Walker just made the stop, forces a turnover on downs, the ball back to the Cyclones.
Now you see why he's going to Elon. He's going to go as a defensive tackle, not offensive, I don't think. And he just stepped right up there. It looked like Culpeper was going to pick up the first down. But I said, well, Braden has to step up, and he did on that play.
He sure did. So Eastern View back on offense. They'll start from their own 38. They'll stay on the ground. They'll go straight ahead. And that was some hard running. And let's pick up that number. That's number 2. Well, Jaden Williams again.
Yep.
Now, he had quite a few carries in that first half.
He looked good and fresh right there.
No, he did. So Jaden Williams picked up 8. They go back to him. Stutter step, delayed, and still on his feet, spinning his way through Blue Devil tacklers like, shooing him away.
Yep. And that's a good power run right there. And also number 45 leading the way for Eastern View now. He's in place of Brett Clatterbaugh at that H-back.
Oh, 45. That's Branson James. Yeah.
He's in the backfield right now.
All right, and he's back there with Jaden Williams, DeMaio Hunter, the quarterback. He's going to throw it. Got a receiver open. Threw it in between 2 defenders. They're trying to strip it, and they do. And then pouncing on it, it looks like, is Garrett Damewood of the Blue Devils.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's exactly how it played out. It was a great pass, great catch. I think he was fighting for extra yardage. The ball got a little bit away from his body, and the Blue Devils were determined to strip it out, and they did.
He started bobbling because he didn't bring it into his body, Mark. He held it out there, and I know he's trying to switch direction, and the ball, and then you had the player, defender knock it right out of his hand. And so there they were able to capitalize, but it didn't. Eastern View was driving. It looked like they wanted to score again, but now Culpeper has it deep in their own territory, and they got a long way to go to try. They got 58 seconds here in the third quarter, but they got over 90 yards.
Well, I was going to say the good news for the Blue Devils is they forced a turnover, but the bad news is you can't make any mistakes here because you're inside your own 10-yard line as you start.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you got to, we've seen a couple, bad snaps, and we've seen a couple fumbles, and so this is where it's really important for Culpeper to certainly keep possession of that ball. Bennett Sutherland winds up, throws downfield. This one nearly picked off. Would have been a one-handed grab there by the Eastern View defender, Grayson Quinn. And now Cyclone player shaken up, but he's back on his feet. And that may have been
There's a cramp.
Jeremiah Jackson, perhaps.
But, now, Culpeper's got to be careful, like you said, Mark, down here. They can't give away. They've got to get some yardage here. They've got to, right now, they tried to hit the home run, didn't work. Let's go back, let's get 10 yards and move the ball down the field, because we don't want to be in a 3rd and 10 deep in our own territory.
Right, so, and this is 2nd down, right?
Yep.
And you want to pick up, you need to pick up at least 5 yards.
At least.
Yeah.
Number 16 for Eastern View came off the field.
Okay, so that was Grayson Quinn.
Yep.
All right, so now here is 2nd down and 10 from the 8-yard line. Again, Blue Devils have to be careful to hold on to that football. I want to turn it over here. All right, Bennett Sutherland running away from the pressure. He does pick up a few yards and goes out of bounds.
There's a flag in the play, Mark, and it looks like it's going to be a legal block in the back or a hold on Culpeper right there. He got, or it could be, that's what I'm guessing. It's thrown right there at that play when Sutherland turned the corner. Or it could have been a face mask. We'll see.
Holding against Culpeper.
It's going to be holding against Culpeper.
All right, so isn't this marked off from the spot? Is that how they do it?
Yeah, but half the distance to the goal.
Because the line of scrimmage was the 8-yard
That would be a
line.
half the distance to the goal line spot foul.
Yeah, they're going to give the ball at the 7. So he must have got out to the 14.
Replay 2nd down.
Well, they finally put it down where? At the 6, Steve.
Yep.
So either
Half
way,
the distance, it was at the 12, half the distance to the 6.
final 40 seconds ticking off here in the 3rd quarter. And this run out to about the 8 or 9-yard line. That's it. Picked up maybe 3 yards. Clock continues to run. Under 30 seconds to play. They may not get another playoff here in this quarter.
Well, see, that to me, if I was Culpeper, I'd want to try it, but it's 3rd down. If it was like 2nd down, 1st, 2nd down, then I'd try to run and play. But 3rd down, you want to make sure you get this. So let's talk it over and basically get a free timeout with a quarter.
Right. Because again, they just can't afford to make a mistake in this position of the field. Final seconds ticking off, and it's in the books. We've played 3 quarters here at Cyclone Stadium in this annual Cannonball Classic, where our score is Eastern View 27, Culpeper 7. We will take a break and come back for the 4th quarter right after this.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.
Got it.
Looked in the world. This is A.J. Marshall running with it, Steve.
No flags.
What in the world?
And it's on the corner. It's a touchdown, Blue Devils.
What in the world? Are you talking 94 yards?
94 yards.
Just like that?
The home run, and they hit it. I mean, that was just, good play there by Sutherland right there to 24. We're just getting ready to start the full quarter, and we see him running down the football field.
And I don't know. I think that not only did they catch me off guard, they obviously caught the Cyclones off guard. That's a 94-yard touchdown.
94-yard touchdown play.
20, and that's how you open the fourth quarter, 13 seconds into it. And it's 27-13. And all of a sudden, you got a ball game.
Got a ball game.
We got a penalty flag, too. I mean, why wouldn't we have
one? We got too many people on the field here for Culpeper.
You know what you don't want to do? You don't want to have more penalties than you have points.
Too much, too many field.
Steve?
Huh?
You don't want to have more penalties than you have points.
No, you don't. So now it's a 5-yarder against Culpeper with too many men on the field.
All right, so that's going to back up the Uribe's kick, but A.J. Marshall's 94-yard run?
That was a heck of a pass. Was it a run? It was a pass, wasn't it? It was a pass.
You know, it's interesting because
it was a pass.
I think this surprised everybody in the stadium, including me.
Sutherland just threw it out there to the 20 to the flat, and the Eastern View defender made a play on it and missed. Tipped it right in. Marshall took it the whole way.
Plaster now the holder from the 15-yard line. And Uribe's kick is up and good, 27-14. Would you, after that,
two touchdowns win it.
After that first half, would you have thought it would be 27-14?
I thought we'd be running clock, Mark, to tell you the truth. Really did. I thought we'd be running clock right now. But now, that's.
Now, look over there at the Blue Devils sideline, Steve.
Yep.
That's they're a rejuvenated bunch right now.
Well, that means they don't. One thing about Coach Ford's teams, they don't give up. And I think Eastern View got a big letdown when Brett got tossed from the game, and Aiden Curley was the one Culpeper player that was tossed. And you got to check VHSL rules. You miss the next game, but possibly miss two. And it depends on how bad the officials say the infraction was that made him caused him to get tossed. So Brett could be down for 2 games. And that, that's not good. And so now, I think you're seeing a rejuvenated Culpeper team, and you're seeing a kind of, Eastern View's got kind of this glazed look. It's like, what's happened? It's like they look a little bit confused out there.
But we don't really know if that's going to hold true because their offense has played well tonight, and they're going to get the ball back. We'll see how they respond to that, right?
Yeah, they're going to have to come out here and play mistake-free.
They will kick it off for the Blue Devils, who now trail 27-14. Just 13 seconds into this fourth quarter.
And what a play, though, by Culpeper. Hats off to them. They got the ball, got it quick. I think they caught Eastern View napping on that play.
And this pooch kick does not catch Eastern View napping. That one's fielded cleanly at the 35-yard line. All right, well, it's a 2-touchdown game right now. And the Cyclones back on the field on offense. And let's see how they respond.
Well, Culpeper was getting tired of being pushed around. Now they're just saying, hey, they can play with them. They just got to play sound football.
All right, they do have it marked at the 35. That's where Eastern View goes back on offense. DeMaio Hunter got 3 receivers to the right. Quick throw, near side. Stiff arms, 1 defender, forced out of bounds. Eastern View territory. This is Jaden Williams on the reception.
Yeah, poor number 2 for Culpeper. He just got pushed down by Williams' stiff arm. He didn't have a shot.
Well, that would have been Damewood on the receiving end of that.
He's a little guy. I mean, look, he can't weigh 140 pounds, Mark.
Culpeper side of midfield at the 45. 1st and 10 Cyclones. Here come the Blue Devils. And making a good tackle there is number 56 for Culpeper, and that is Tucker Dean.
Up the middle for 1 yard.
Now, like I said, Culpeper wants to force a 3 and out if they can get it done here and get the ball back. We'll see what Eastern View is going to be happy to, I think, just give it to Williams to run the football, eat up the clock.
All right, so DeMaio Hunter back there on 2nd and 8. They hand it off. And unable to break completely from the grasp there. The ball carrier, number 17, was Eddie Holmes. And did you see who made the tackle, Steve?
Wood on the tackle for loss for the Blue Devils. 3rd and 12.
Missed that.
I couldn't see who made the tackle.
But Eddie Holmes, the ball carrier, he tried to get past the grasp of the defender. Looked like he might, but then he slipped, and once your knee hits the ground, play's over. All right, so they mark it now at the 47. So he actually lost 4 yards on the play, and it's 3rd and 12.
Yep.
Opportunity for the Blue Devils, but DeMaio Hunter takes it straight ahead, and that's where his speed really kicked in, and he was able to run past the pursuit and pick up a key first down for the Cyclones.
That was a good play call by Hunter. He saw the opening right there. That most of the line of attack was running right by him, and he saw that opening in the middle. The linebackers weren't there. Took it in there for a 12-yard gain. Good play.
All the way down the 33-yard line, and back goes. That's Hunter. He's going to go all the way from 33 yards out. And so the Cyclones have responded.
They sure have. Shut the door, close the windows. Feel that wind. It's a Cyclone touchdown.
DeMaio Hunter, 33 yards.
Yep. And that's what you do. Your captain, he's one of the captains, leader on the team. Quarterback took it and said, we're going to get this done. That's what they did.
All right. Braden Capolini on for the point after. The holder, DeMaio Hunter. Snap, down, kick, up, and the kick is good by Braden Capolini. Our score 34-14. Well, I ask you, Steve, psychological standpoint. If you're the Blue Devils and you had that big 94-yard touchdown play by A.J. Marshall and you make it a 2-score game, then you see the Cyclone offense go back to work, and it takes them very little time to find that end zone again. That's got to take some of the wind out of your sails.
It sure does, Mark, and that's exactly what it's going to do. And Culpeper, now with 9:41 to go here in the game, Culpeper's going to have to score quick. They're going to have to start running their 2-minute offense because they need to score quickly. And Eastern View now is all they got to do is just play sound defense and not try to be nobody out there to try to be a hero. And just go in there and you get out of here with a win, and it'll be a district win. But they've sure played different until now, after what happened with Brett getting tossed from the game, and now for a while there, Eastern View looked like they looked like a punch-drunk boxer, that they're getting hit from all sides, but then they now have righted the ship under the leadership of DeMaio Hunter.
I think the absence on defense was certainly glaring with Clatterball on the sidelines. But what the Cyclone offense did, here's a great special teams tackle made by number 17, Eddie Holmes, on the return man, number 16, Devon Cooper.
We got a flag, though, on the play right here about the 20, looks like probably at the 31, 32-yard line.
Well,
see what the call's going to play.
Steve, it's not exactly our first flag of the game, is it?
Nope. We think it's going to be Culpeper, illegal use of the hands or a block in the back. We'll see.
Well, as they sort this one out, I'm going to tell you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Found & Sons, which is more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. That's Found & Sons at 825-3530. 9:37 to play here in the fourth quarter. Blue Devils will be on offense after they assess this penalty, and it's going to be a personal foul face mask, they're saying, against the Blue Devils.
Yep.
You don't usually see that on the return team, do you?
No, but the Culpeper player grabbed his face mask, so.
And say, let's check the spot. So it looks like it's going to be shy of that 10-yard line. Yeah, they have it marked at the 9. So Culpeper will start in a hole as they try to come back and respond to Eastern View's latest score. They're going to start this drive from their 9. They'll keep it on the ground. Here's a little bit of running room. Breaking a tackle there is J.Q. Williams. He gets out to near the 25-yard line. That's a pickup of 17 yards and a Blue Devil first down by J.Q. Williams.
That's the way to get you out of the doldrums right there,
Right.
out of the deep.
Well, it certainly gives you some breathing room as they now mark it at the 26. So he picked up 18 yards. And the clock runs, 9:15 to play, fourth quarter action, 34-14. Eastern View, Bennett Sutherland, the Blue Devil quarterback. He has seen a lot of blue jerseys in his face tonight.
Yeah, he has.
This time he's got enough time to throw it out the flat, incomplete, intended for Garrett Damewood.
But that Sutherland, it was 19, he threw it. He threw it to Sutherland. Mark, because he had 19 in their quarterback. That's not Bennett. Bennett was an 8. They threw it to him.
Well, but you're sure it wasn't Garrett Damewood, number 2, their intended receiver? There he is right here.
Yep.
Now you've got 19 in the quarterback slot. That's Riley Lentz.
Yep, that's who the.
Yeah, he is in now for Bennett Sutherland.
I wonder if Bennett's hurt or might have a cramp.
But you're looking at a very clean uniform, jersey number 19.
I'm looking on the sideline over there. I can't see where.
Yep, that's him. You're right. Riley Lentz is in now for Bennett Sutherland. Eastern View shows pressure, and he got away from the first defender, but then it was enough to slow him down. That was J.Q. Williams caught in the backfield, trapped, really nowhere to go.
No. Now it brings up.
And Steve, I think the man who made the initial hit on him was number 54, Jimmy Waters of Eastern View.
Okay.
There he is there.
3rd and long right now, Mark.
From the 23, yeah, 3rd and 12. Certainly don't want to be in that position. Clock runs, 8:30 to play. But you were right, 19 inserted in the game. That's Riley Lentz. They're going to send 3 receivers to the near side, including Cole Plaster, Garrett Damewood.
I think Sutherland's suffering from some cramps. They're working on him over there on the sideline.
All right, here's Riley Lentz going to keep it. And it'd be forced out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. It's going to be about the 27. So he picked up 4, and that's going to bring up 4th and 8.
Yeah, Eastern View was let him run. They wanted to. They played good defensive coverage in that backfield. He really didn't have anybody to throw it to. Now you have to punt this. Culpeper can't afford to
give up another score and field position.
Yep.
Well, you're down by 20 points with 8:03 to play. And the ball is at your own 27-yard line. And you're looking at 4th and 9.
They're going for it. Maybe try to make it 4th and 4 if they can get them to jump.
Riley Lentz is the quarterback. He's going to throw it. He's airing it out there for A.J. Marshall. It's picked up, but there is a penalty flag down. This may be an interference against Eastern View, as A.J. Marshall was the intended receiver, and there was contact.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interference on Eastern View or a hold, defensive holding.
But it's interesting, Steve. Trey Brock got the interception, but if this is interference, I think. Let's see. Don't they mark it from the line of scrimmage rather than the point of contact?
Right.
Report to the concession stand.
So here,
and bring some form of
we'll get the call here momentarily.
Your Visa card. Jason Weiss. Report to the concession stand.
How'd you like to have him mic'd up?
See what the call is. It's pass interference against Eastern View.
And
automatic first down.
And it is a first down. So let's check the spot where they actually mark it. The line of scrimmage was the 27. Okay, and that's where the official goes back to the point, the original line of scrimmage there at the 27.
Marks off 15 yards.
Yeah, now he marks it off from there. And see, this is a contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're watching the college or pro game, and the interference is the play is at the spot, the call, right? Now you come back.
Well, I mean, in college though, it's not a spot foul. It's that where the interference occurred, then they mark off 15. But in the pros, they can. It's at the spot if it's in the end zone or. College and high school aren't spot
right,
fouls.
and then here in the high school, they went back to the original line of scrimmage and then marked it off. Now they go to the run, and this for naught, as I think we got a new ball carrier in there. for Culpeper. Let's check that. Yeah, well, it was number 4, Devon Polari, getting the call.
And I don't see Bennett coming in. Sutherland, he must be hurt, Mark. Or he could be dehydrated too. It's hot out there. You're getting those.
Second down and 12, Blue Devils. That new quarterback in place of Bennett Sutherland is Riley Lentz. Like Devon Polari alongside him. 3 receivers to the right. Polari will block. They've got a receiver out there to flat. And this was, again, for naught, because coming up making immediate contact against Garrett Danewood. No gain on the play.
No gain on the play, and then that brings up 3rd down, Mark. 3rd and long.
Yep, no gain right at the line of scrimmage, 40. So it's going to be 3rd and 12. Well, they're more like 3rd and 11. And the clock continues to run. We are approaching the midway mark of this 4th quarter. But again, I go back to the 3rd quarter, and it seemed like it really took a long time to play that.
It did, Mark. Well, you had a lot of things going on.
All right, from the 40, 3rd and 11. That's Plaster in motion. They're looking for him here. They've got him, but it's not going to amount to much. That play is smothered quickly.
25.
Yep, that's Shaheem Fry coming up and making a quick tackle on Cole Plaster. Now, here's another 4th down.
And, Mark, talking about Culpeper still being Division III, they can, see Goochland moved up this year.
To 4?
I think so, to a 4. And what's happening is with Culpeper, they got the only other Division III team is James Monroe in the district. Now Culpeper's got to win some games. They got to beat Orange, they got to beat Liberty, they got to beat Fauquier, and they got to win. They got to beat Caroline. They got to win a couple district games.
Oh, this one thrown before the receiver could look back on it. I think Lentz threw it quickly, and I think that Danewood was expecting a later throw. Not on the same sheet of music, obviously. They turn it over on downs. Now the Cyclone offense go back to work. Up 34-14 with 5:36 to play. They're going to have the ball on the Culpeper side of midfield, right at the 40-yard line.
Yep. And they're going to, and all they basically, Eastern View's got to do is just run with it. Run with the ball.
Cameron Hughes, wide receiver, goes to the left, as does Trey Brock. Xavier Carr near side. DeMaio Hunter looking for a receiver. He's in trouble if they can catch up with him. But he runs away from it and he throws. He's got a receiver. He's into the end zone. It's Trey Brock.
Shut your windows, close the front door, feel that wind. Cyclone touchdown.
40 yards on the play. Well, that's probably the kiss of death, wouldn't you say?
It was a kiss of death right there, Mark. And again, Culpeper, when you give them time to run like that, they gave him some protection. He was able to, because they're coming with a blitz, and DeMaio was able to escape that blitz. And when he did, he found his wide receiver open. And again,
well, we got a stoppage here. They got a block on the play, but I think we have to kick this one over. I wanted to say, Steve, that any hopes that the Blue Devils had of trying to engineer a comeback were likely dashed there.
Yeah, they were dashed on that one, Mark. That's that was the one right there that, pretty much cemented the win for Eastern View. But again, you got to give Eastern View credit. I mean, I thought Culpeper was going to have the sack on Hunter. He was able to get away. And what happened was the defensive back for Culpeper got caught. Thought DeMaio was going to run it. He left his responsibility, and the man made a wide open catch.
Well, and here's the point after that is good. Makes it 41-14. I just wanted to say with DeMaio Hunter, I mean, a quarterback with less foot speed, they may have caught him.
Right.
But he ran away from it.
He did.
Man, that's where your athleticism and quick feet really help you in that position. It almost sort of reminds me of what Russell Wilson can do. You're going to run away from the pressure, and then you're going to be a danger when you're throwing on the run. And that poses particular problems for defense.
Especially if you got a good quarterback like DeMaio Hunter, fast quarterback.
Right.
So.
I think having those quick feet enabled him to work into a position where he could find that receiver. And, of course, made a nice catch at did Trey Brock. And, again, we talk about it. That's where probably, like you said, likely sealed the Blue Devils' fate there.
Yep, you sure did.
41-14, 5:25 to go here in this annual Cannonball Classic, a game the Cyclones have never lost, and it looks like they're going to keep that streak intact. And, the Blue Devils will be down in Orange County next week, take on the Fighting Hornets. I'm having a little trouble keeping up with all these changes in classifications because I thought I had Blue Devils pegged as 4A, but now they're back to 3.
They're 3 for this season, the 4A next year. So.
And then James Monroe, I think, has got an improved team down there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they're going to be good. They're coached by Coghill, and it's interesting to see Coach Survey is now coaching with Stafford.
Is he?
Coach
Yeah.
Stafford.
So Rick Survey had all those years at James Monroe, and then he sort of left under, I don't know, just kind of odd circumstances or something. It just wasn't real clear to me what was.
They got for a guy that gave 35 years at the helm and state championships he won.
Yeah.
And then just to be tossed, said they just called him in. The principal did, so we're not renewing your contract.
Yeah. Well.
And, and so there it was, and he was unceremonious. He kept quiet for.
Well, let me ask you
years.
this: does it surprise you then that after all those years at James Monroe, or wherever it was, that he would come back and coach at another school?
No, because I know he's always James Monroe, but his the head coach for Stafford is a friend of his and asked him to come work with the offensive lineman, and he agreed to do it.
Oh, so he's serving as an assistant?
Yeah, he's not a head coach.
All right.
So he just said he didn't want to talk about it, how unceremoniously he was dumped by James Monroe, and he, of course, him and Lou Sorrentino are good friends. Survey and Sorrentino.
Yeah, not surprised. Now, Lou remains at Mountain View. Yeah.
Right.
I understand that Todd Campbell is an assistant at Colonial Forge now. Todd Campbell, for our viewing audience, if the name doesn't resonate with you, he was on the Blue Devils coaching staff when they won that state championship in '99, and he was the offensive coach. Todd Campbell.
Then he went to he at Massaponax too?
I don't know if he was at Massaponax. I remember at Riverbend.
Yeah, Riverbend.
But now he's at, I understand, an assistant at Colonial Forge. We're here at the Blue Devils in a frequent place, a familiar place tonight, in a hole, starting on offense, deep in their own territory, and they keep it on the ground. J.Q. Williams, the ball carrier, and pick up a few yards, a little bit of breathing room, but more importantly, the clock continues to run. We approach that 5-minute mark, and the Cyclones up by 27 points. They're going to get out of here again with a victory and maintain the Cannonball Trophy.
Yep, and then they're in Eastern View's non-conference football. They got to play Brook Point this year.
And I want to talk to you about that too, because I want to know how good Brook Point is these days as far as their football team is concerned.
Well, when I was reading in the Fredericksburg paper about them, they're going to have it in today's paper, obviously, that Brook Point, they got them picked in middle of the road, middle of the district. They still have Forge and Massaponax up there competing, and then Mountain View's loaded. So they got Riverbend and Brook Point kind of bringing up the rear a little bit, but Brook Point's going to be a tough out. I think we go there. Eastern View plays them at Brook Point.
Well, that's a big game on their schedule then, because you're talking about Brook Point's Class 5.
Class 5.
Yeah, 5A. All right, here's a toss and a catch made by, I believe it's Cole Plaster. No, it is not. It's Garrett Damewood.
Damewood on the reception for the Blue Devils.
Short gain, 3 or 4 yards. Stops the clock, 4:02 to play. 2nd down and 7. I'll try to get more of a scouting report on the Hornets this week, Steve.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're playing. Are they playing tonight? I can't remember if they open the season.
I don't know if they do or not. But I do know this is that, getting back, it's a good way. It's good for Eastern View to schedule like a Brook Point because of the points.
The points, exactly. So what we're talking about is, the point system is that if you're a 4A team like Eastern View, if you picked up a win over Brook Point, which is 5A, you pick up some major points, don't you?
You sure do. And I think Broke Point might even be a 6 now. I'll have to check
I don't
that.
think they are, but I could be wrong. In fact, I feel like in the classifications, I'm probably about 50-50 with them now. Because, there are a lot of changes.
Yeah, there are. There changes every 2 years. But yeah, you might be right. But but you got to think of the rest of the Battlefield District. Culpeper, Chancellor, it's going to be. They say they're going to be okay. Cortland is going to be. They're always well coached.
Well, J.C. Hall
Yep.
returns again. How many years has he been there? Is it 20-some?
20 years at least.
J.C. Hall.
27, I think. And
I think that, from talking to him, he was the quarterback. Was it Cortland's last state championship team they had in the 80s? I think J.C. Hall was their quarterback. And now he's been the head coach there for, I think, 20-plus years as we're talking. And that's where that's the continuity that we were talking about. So important as an intangible.
You're absolutely right.
And Blue Devils keep it on the ground, and they see the clock dissipate, if you will, and maybe you're glad to see this one come to an end.
Yeah, but I think people are starting to leave. I mean, it's again, Eastern View is going to retain the Cannonball Classic again. They've never lost, and since the inception of the series started in 2008.
Well, and then ending quarterback is Riley Lentz, who's come in for Bennett Sutherland.
Sutherland must have been shaken up, Mark. He's standing over there on the sidelines, but I guess Coach Ford didn't want to get any more beaten up as it was. But the other thing is, where Culpeper's going to get his points, if they can beat Fauquier, that's a 4A school. If they can beat Liberty, they beat Liberty last year. So if that's a Division IV school, and they don't.
You should have already called for your ride.
I got you. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book fair trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 540-547-3673. And also want to mention this broadcast brought to you in part by Cash Imprints. From shirts to banners and everything in between, imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints. 317-1473. Also want to mention CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center. We appreciate each and every one of our sponsors. We talked about Able Keegan Air being our live sponsor, and UBA Credit Union being our timeout sponsor, and of course Battlefield, Found, Cash, CFC, and K&M. We're grateful for each and every one of them. Thank you so much for your support, and we appreciate what you do out there in the community.
Absolutely.
All right, so after the timeout, we have 4th and 3 for Riley Lentz and his Blue Devil compatriots. Let's see what they do here. Can they protect him? They do. He throws. This one, they go up in the air for it, and it looks like it's picked off by, let's see, is it number 3, Trey Brock?
It looks like number 3.
Number 3, okay, that's Trey Brock. All right, that's how that Blue Devil possession will end. And now the Cyclones come on the field. Would you expect to see quite a few subs, or do you see DeMaio Hunter stay out there?
We'll see. And see Hunter stay out there, I think. Number 2.
We found out that if they were to substitute DeMaio Hunter, it would likely be with A.P. Hall. And he's wearing jersey number 12, so we'll look for him. Not in there right now, we don't think. We still have DeMaio Hunter, yes.
Yep.
Let's take a good look at that as they hand off to the ball carrier,
number 2,
Jaden Williams. Yeah, DeMaio Hunter remains in the game.
Yeah,
Who else is in there we haven't called? How about number 10 of Eastern View's team? That's Keegan Brown. We called his name. 88.
88, a big kid.
Yeah, 88. We haven't mentioned him. That's Will Butler. You did mention that fullback, didn't you? Branson, number 45, Branson James. Blue Devils showing some pressure. Here they come. Here's DeMaio Hunter. He runs away from it like he does so gracefully and sort of effortlessly. He picks up, it looks like a first down. They'll move the sticks, and he goes out of bounds, stops the clock. Minute 49 to play here in this Cannonball Classic. Again, our score, Cyclones 41, Blue Devils 14.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how Jemiah Hunter's handled himself tonight. And, first game as quarterback and, starting for Eastern View. And he looks like he's shown some promise, Mark.
I was going to say that, the word poise comes to mind. He's played calmly back there. Is that fair to say?
Yep, exactly.
He can feel the pressure. He can run away from it. He can keep his eye on a receiver getting open downfield. And I think he has shown us that he can throw with accuracy.
He's just going to let the clock run on down, hand it off.
Hand it off. Here's Jake. Is this Williams again, or they go to someone else? No, it is Jaden Williams. He's really been sort of the workhorse running back tonight for the Cyclones.
He is.
But like you say, and he's going to pick up a first down, but and the clock's going to run, I think, once they reset the chains here. Here it does.
Yep.
So now it resumes, and we're under a minute to play here in this game. Ball at the 14-yard line of Culpeper.
And if it's the first down, I don't think Eastern View is going to want to. Coach Landry is going to want him to score. Just take a knee and get it out. You already got first down. Take a knee here, and then take a knee next time. Game over.
We stay on the ground. This is Deuce Washington, isn't it? He's looking to get inside that 5-yard line.
And he did. He got out of bounds, though.
And it was Deuce Washington.
And we got a flag, too, over here on the far side. Could be a push. It could be offensive interference, maybe. We'll see. Or ineligible lineman downfield. Or a defensive hold. The game can't end on a defensive penalty, so.
Well, you still got 25 seconds to play anyway.
Yeah. But it looks like it's going to be against Eastern View. Yep, holding against Eastern View. So all they're going to do here is just take a knee here.
Well, Steve, in the scheme of things, that play just adds to the sort of pads the penalty department. Certainly has no outcome on how this game's going to be decided, no question. But
Yeah.
with the final seconds ticking off here, you expect this will likely be the last play of the game, 15 seconds and counting. And I think that Mayo Hunter and company will be content to let this wind down.
Yep, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. And you get lined up.
And the final seconds do tick off, and I think that's a good way to end it, is that you don't rub your opponent's nose in it.
No.
We've won the game. We've got nothing else to prove here.
Because they're all friends, too.
Yeah.
And so they all know each other. That's not a way you want to end the game. The bad part is what happened to both, Brett Clatterball and Curley over there, Aiden Curley over there for Culpeper to get thrown out. And Brett will learn from this. And, we'll see this week what's going to be his penalty. I know he's got to sit out one game, could possibly be 2.
So you want to talk about what Eastern View did well. Pressure defense early on, forced a couple turnovers, and they were in Bennett Sutherland's face for much of the game when he played. Offense clicked. He had 3 touchdowns by Brett Clatterball, but he capped those scoring drives because they had used Jemiah Hunter, Jaden Williams, and others. But then I think the penalties for both teams marred the game, and then the ejection of the 2 players.
Yeah.
Those are the things that really stand out in my mind. If you're the Blue Devils, it would go back to reinventing. You've got to find some consistency up front, get your personnel where they want them to be, and hopefully you can gel as the season goes on. But our final score here, lopsided win, I think that's going to do us for tonight unless you've got any closing thoughts.
No, the only thoughts is Eastern View played very well, like you said. Culpeper still got to find they got to find it up front, get a good unit up front, and I'm proud of the way they came back a little bit, but Eastern View was just too much to handle. And now it's going to be next week to see who Eastern View's. I think they've got Liberty, and I know Culpeper's got to go to Orange.
All right. Great calling the game with you tonight. And final score 41-14 in the Cannonball Classic. For Johnny, Nicole back in the studio, and Steve, I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Blue Devils and Cyclones football here on the Culpeper Media Network. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Friday from Porterfield Park in Orange County. So long.
This broadcast is brought to you by the following community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, willing to take your trade and offer up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade value, along with a free trade appraisal. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. From shirts to banners and everything in between. Imprint your message on the community with Cash Imprints, 317-1473. K&M Lawn, Garden, and Arborist Supplies, now located directly across Highway 29 from Eastern View High School. K&M, from grass to trees, they aim to please. 825-8371.